If we had, yes, donate to the school, $ FDMG school on your Cash App. 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 If you need to mail in your donation, make it payable to the FDMG Academy, P.O. Box 9634. P.O. Box 9634. P.O. Box 9634, Wilmington, Delaware. That is Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. We appreciate $1, but we would rather have 10. We appreciate $20, but we would rather have 50. We appreciate $50, but we would rather have 100. We appreciate $100, but we would rather have 200. We're trying to renovate a school, brothers and sisters. We're trying to renovate a school. We're not fixing a flat tire. We're not fixing a flat tire. We're not opening up a penny candy shop. We're not selling water ices, okay? We're not selling hot dogs. We're renovating a school. Do you understand? Do you understand? So please, brothers and sisters, give what you can. We're building an institution, okay? We're trying to give our children a chance that we didn't have. That's what we're doing. I don't have to pin it because I done already told you what it is. Don't be lazy. $ FDMG school. Don't be lazy. $ FDMG school. Before I continue with my message, thank you, Sister Avanti, $10 coming on the Cash App. Thank you, sister. Next time, make it 20, but thank you for that 10. I know you barely had that. Thank you, sister.
All right, next time, make sure it's $20, because 10 is unacceptable. It was unacceptable then, it's unacceptable now. All right, now they want to good with that. We got a lot to get into. Let's go.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming.
Hold on. Yeah. Nah, I got this.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's 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 coming. Oh, it's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. Thought its personality be twerking. It's twerking.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience. Yeah, I was trying to get this in today, like an hour ago, but ran out of time. Time is my biggest issue. How's it going, Ricochet Rose? Thank you so much for tuning on in. I appreciate it. Yeah, the Sister Vonnie was trying to give 10, but Umar, he wanted that 20. He said, I need that 20. What's up, 78 Bet? The Xeno Flux and Maddie's in the building as well. Smart Barbie. Sharif's in the building. Shout out to Sharif. And shout out to my lactose-free carnation milk queens. Well, I'm doing better. You guys at least give me a little credit. All right. I feel like we haven't got together in like a month, but it was last week. And I postponed this particular live stream to today. I was trying to do it last Thursday, but I ran out of time. So we'll get into it today. What we're going to mainly be covering is Umar. He was on, this is his most recent interview on Father David's podcast. This is from like a week ago. I think it was on Sunday, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before. So we're going to get into that today. There's a lot of other stuff going on too. I'm going to comment on that and give you my quick take on that in just a moment. Thank you so much for being here. Elevate me. I like that name. Okay. What's up, Jimmy? Jimmy Jamboree's in the building. Okay. Shout out to everyone inside the Cook Crush. Thank you so much for tuning on in. So what most people are talking about right now, and I saw some people bringing it up inside of the chat room as well. Yeah, hot dog. That's Umar. What's up, Estevadas? There's another woman. It's a young lady. She's 23. She came out on Storm Monroe's. She was actually on someone else's podcast first, but then she went on the Storm Monroe's podcast. I've received a lot of emails about that. Thanks everyone who sent that, both of those interviews. And this is a young lady who is now 23, if memory serves me correctly. But from what I understand, I think she was 21, I think she said, when she first started dealing with Umar. I could be wrong on that, because I remember she said that she had sent Umar a text message. And I don't know if that's when she was 21, but over time, they kind of built a rapport. And then he asked her to, here we go again, to come and be his mother's caretaker. Young lady. And she went out there. She had video footage. I won't be showing that, but video footage of the inside of Umar's mother's living conditions. I want to be clear about something too. Umar's been living off of his mama since 2017. If memory serves me correctly, that's when he said that he first became the primary caretaker. I had his nephew on as well, and his nephew explained that and talked about how Umar, there was this whole big thing within the family, but then at a certain point, Umar, he becomes a primary caretaker, and then he slowly but surely kind of moves family members. Well, he doesn't allow family members to interact with their mother anymore, his mother. And that's been the case since. So if you think about it, I mean, it's been about 9 years. We'll give some grace. Let's say 8 years, 8.5 years of this, where family members, how's it going, lady? Family members can't even see Umar's mom, and that's his doing. He decided that, and he won't let family members see her. She's bedridden, and she is in Section 8 housing. I talked about this a long time ago. I have the paperwork on that and doing my research. So it's not that Umar is living off of his, it's not just that Umar is living off of his mama and has been since 2017. It's also that Umar is living off of his mother's Section 8 housing. It's not her house, but if you're raising millions of dollars, your mother should be in a better situation than that. You shouldn't be living off of her while she's bedridden, and you're supposed to be the primary caretaker. You're traveling all over the world. You're getting random people to come and take care of your mother because he doesn't want to pay like a professional to do it, I guess. But why not get yourself your own home? He's been homeless since the end of 2019. Why don't you get your own home, move your mom into that home, make sure the bathroom's on the first floor so that she can actually get into the shower and get into the bath. Can't even do that. So the point I'm making is that it's a sad situation all the way across the board. And this latest thing is just a continuation of what we learned last year. Matter of fact, let me see in my notes here if it comes up. Yeah, Umar in 2018, that's when he announced that he was the primary caretaker. But I thought I had heard him say since 2017, but he announced it in 2018. So I'm going to go with my notes here that I have right here. I'm going to go with 2018 for sure. At the very least, he said that July 5th of 2018, when he gave an update on the FDMG Academy. In fact, I'll pull it up. But I think it was in 2017, if I remember something correctly, where he became the primary caretaker. And so what he's done is he's ultimately held his mother hostage, not only from family members, but clearly he's not providing her with proper professional services. And based upon the video footage that was shown, the house is a mess. And that's it's reflective of Umar too, because remember, he flipped his phone back in 2017, and he was living in filth back then. I'll pull that up too, just to show you guys. But this right here, 2018, okay, July 5th. Let me go to July 5th here. Okay, it's not populating here. But I'll find it. Give me one moment. Okay. Yeah, it's not coming up either. So I'll have to look for it. Okay, I'll have it in, and if I don't show it, if I don't find it while we're live streaming today, I'll find it and I'll have it for you guys for the next time we live stream. Let me just try one other thing. Yeah, it's not coming up. Okay, I know I have it because I actually played it before. Anyway, so let me give you guys an example, because I'm not going to show the video of the interior of the home. And I'll also say that, yes, that is the home, because there's a video that the young lady, she's 23 now, where she shows the entrance and she walks inside. And yes, that is, I'll just leave it right there. And so she goes in, and yeah, it looks bad in there. Let me go to, yeah, Umar, he has an issue with being clean, and he has an issue with hoarding. And you would think after he's raised all of this money that he would at least get his mother inside of a better living situation. Yeah, it's bad all across the board. And then the young lady, it's not as if she's had any training to be a primary caretaker or you know, a nurse trainer or anything like that. So what he does is he selects women, or he finds women who would be willing to come and work for him. I guess you want to call it work, and then take care of his mother while he has other stuff to do. But if you're the primary caretaker, you're supposed to be providing those services, and then he is getting paid for that as well. And then also the young lady stated that she alleged that they were intimate. I'm not surprised by that. Do I think it is true? Yeah. But the point that I want to make here is that she would have probably been at least 22 at that time. Why is Umar, and he would have been at the age, he would have been 50. Why is he messing with a 22-year-old like that? This is a big lesson. You know, you got to watch out for this. Women, if you're dealing with men and that's their thing, they're into that kind of thing, that's a huge red flag. The type of character that Umar has is deviant. He's 50. She's his daughter's age. So if the allegation is true, which I believe it is, that's very telling when it comes to Umar. And this is the person that people have sent millions of dollars to. This is the person that people perceive to be this great black leader. But what kind of man is he in the first place? That's predatory. It's predatory anyway. If the idea is Umar's trying to bring women to help his mother, and these are random. He shouldn't be doing that in the first place. If he's going to bring random women to come take care of his mother, then why is he allegedly having sex with them? And in this case, with someone who's young enough to be his daughter. Now, I've showed videos of Umar when he was at those college campuses. Remember, he was sneak kissing. He sneak kissed that young lady. Well, he was grooming that young lady. So I'm not surprised by this allegation at all. Not at all. Okay. So when we talk about Umar and him living in filth and being a hoarder,
strong alpha male, send those resumes in. FDMG resumes at gmail.com. FDMG resumes at gmail.com. FDMG resumes at gmail.com is what we're looking for.
Yeah, you see that? There you go.
It's a mess right now. I'm in the process of relocating.
And he starts lying. It's ridiculous. Here you go.
DMG resumes.
See this? All right, so that's why listen. I'm not surprised at all about the video that the young lady showed. Okay, and a lot of this stuff that we see in this video from 2019, yeah, this was April 23rd of 2019. This was all moved to the large gym and been sitting in there ever since. It's been 7 years, almost 7 years at this point, right? So there's a lot of people talking about this story, and it's truly unfortunate. Umar's predatory. There's a lot of lessons that men can learn. You should not be trying to go after these young ladies like this. And he's 50. At the time, he's 50. At the time, she would have probably been 22. She could have been 21, but let's just say 22. And then she comes out over this last week and exposes Umar. She provides a voicemail that Umar left, a recording. She also provides payments, okay, in terms of text messages. She also provides video of the interior. And yes, that is the interior. I've already done the research on that. I did that a couple of years ago. So again, he's predatory, and he's preying on these young women too. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Totally ridiculous and unacceptable too. Okay, and then of course, this is his mama's. When Umar was in his mama closet, he accidentally flipped the phone, and this is him hoarding in his mama's closet. Just deplorable, all the way across the board. Okay, again, women, watch out for these types of males. Okay, he doesn't have his own place. He doesn't have his own vehicle. He's been collecting money for a school that does not exist. He's been collecting donations since at least 2012. I've had people say 2010, 2009, 2008, 2007. Okay, but based upon Umar's own words, and that's what we're going to go with inside of the documentary, since at least 2012, donations in the form of land. Millions of dollars collected at this point, doesn't have a job, and living off of his mama in Section 8 housing, and living in filth, and then hoarding inside of his mama's house, and then luring these young ladies in this case, a young lady, 23 at this today in 2026, luring these young ladies in, this young lady in, and not only having her take care of, without any experience, take care of his mother while he's doing who knows what, but also allegedly having sex with her too. It's unacceptable all across the board. CJ says, checking in from across the Pacific brought the Cookie Crush chat vibes all the way to Singapore. All right, shout out to Singapore. I used to love me some Singapore rice noodles back in the day. I used to love those, boy. Shout out to CJ. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Daxter says, what's going on, Lenon? Everything's good. Thank you so much for asking, Daxter. It's been a member for 1 month. This week, I plan on, I want to do it on Thursday, but it may be Friday. And if worst case scenario, it'll be Saturday. At least worst case scenario for me, because I usually don't live stream on Saturdays. But sometime this week, we will premiere the next segment of the documentary. And that's coming along nicely. I'm in 2012. Okay, so I'm making progress. Okay, it's just steady, but slow but steady. Thanks, Daxter. Miss Honey says, even though he was wrong for the girl coming out for his mom, she's in the wrong as well. A girl that young for a man his age, she needs guidance to protect herself from someone like him. They both wrong. Well, the thing is, the way I look at it, Miss Honey, is that she's a young lady and she's like his daughter's age. So he should know better. Okay, at 23, should she know better? Well, the way I look at it, because I'm a father, she's old enough to be my child. As a father, I look at it as that she doesn't have the wisdom, you know. She just doesn't. She hasn't had enough life experience. Again, she first started dealing with Umar when she was like 21. That's off of memory. That's what I think she said. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that, because I don't want to misrepresent the facts. But for a 21-year-old who looks up to Umar, and over time they talk, but part of what Umar does is he grooms these young ladies. Right? So in my mind, the way I look at it is that she just lacks wisdom at that time. She lacked wisdom. She got involved with something, that she shouldn't have gotten involved with. But Umar should know better as someone who's old enough to be her father. Okay, all the way across the board is wrong, but I tend to look at younger people, in particular these younger ladies, as individuals that Umar targeted. He targets them for a reason. Okay. He shouldn't have been dealing with her. In fact, I'll propose that he shouldn't even had tried to get her to come and take care of his mother in the first place. He shouldn't have done that, because she doesn't have any professional training for that. See, it's amazing, because we can ask the question, why doesn't Umar just get professional help? He's receiving a check as a primary caretaker. Why doesn't he just use that money and whatever else money, right, in order to get his mother proper services, professional services? He doesn't do that. Well, the question becomes why. Okay. All right. And you're right. She needs someone to protect her and to guide her. But again, there's a lack of wisdom there, you know. And as a father, that's how I look at it. Like she needs someone to keep her safe and keep her protected until she comes of age and develops enough wisdom to keep herself safe from these types of situations and these types of men too. Real talk. Thanks, Miss Honey. User 225 says, mentally, some people aren't playing with the full deck. I know a lady in the Umar verse who's missing a whole suit. Okay, all right. Thank you, 225. And thanks for being a member for 11 months. Miss Honey says he's luring women in. I said that earlier. He's luring women in. He don't give a damn about his mother. That's a good question. I'm gonna propose that as a question. Is it that Umar is trying to, now I think about it, because it would be a lot easier, I would think, just for him to have professionals come through, right? Is it that Umar is using his mother to lure women, including young women, in to under the guise of taking care of his mother, but then using this as an opportunity to exploit these women? It's a good question. That should really be the poll question. I think that that's part of it. But I also think there's a component where he doesn't want to get professional services because he's a megalomaniac. It's about power and control. And then also, if you're dealing with professionals, there's going to need to be a level of transparency, and the money has to be right too. So I think that that's part of it. That's a really good perspective there. That should be the poll question. In fact, I'll propose this one a little bit later on. Is Umar using his mother? It's really good to lure women in. Yeah, I have to say yes, but we'll take a poll on it later. That's really, really good. I'm gonna let this the current poll question linger for a little bit longer because it's only 541 votes. We already got 887 people here, so thank you guys so much for tuning on in. What will Umar Johnson do next? Because he's been very silent. He's still posting on his Instagram page, but he hasn't done videos or anything like that. It's been quite some time. What will Umar Johnson do next? Live stream in front of the bandos, live stream inside of the bandos, rant against the 23-year-old caretaker, stay silent for another month, okay? 44% said he'll live stream in front of the bandos, 5% said he'll live stream inside the bandos, 5%, yeah, that's right, I agree with that. 19% said he'll rant against the 23-year-old caretaker, and 32% say stay silent for another month. So make sure you get your vote in during this live stream, and if at any point you're enjoying the live stream, hit that like button. Our goal is 600, okay? So if everyone hit the like button who's in the chat room, right, or who's watching this live, you hit the like button right now, we've been at 879, okay? But it helps a lot, okay? So if you can do that, I'd appreciate it if you're enjoying the show. So what I'll do is I'll bring this other question in after we get some more votes on this one, because I think that this is a really good question, right? My answer is yes. I want to say something else too. I don't think he's going to rant against the 23-year-old caretaker unless she gets like on, and I'm not having any more guests, but if she had gotten on my platform, maybe, or if she gets on like a big time platform like Tasha K, Umar might say something, but more than likely, Umar is going to remain silent on this because he does not want people, because if he comes out and speaks on it, more people are going to learn about it. And what the most important thing they're going to learn about is the fact that this young lady is alleging that Umar Johnson, Umar Johnson, and how can I say that she and Umar Johnson had sexual relations. Okay, well, how old was she at the time? Was she 21? Was she 22? Was she 23? Either way, it's not going to be a good look for Umar. So I don't think he's going to come. I mean, y'all let me know what you think inside chat room. Either way, I don't think he's going to come up to speak about this. That would be extremely damaging. Okay? All right. Thanks, Ms. Honey. This is really good. I'll bring this back up as a question, for a poll question. Thank you. CJ says, I want to play a game. Take a drink every time Lenon says Mama Closet, trap bandos, or house shoes. I don't say house shoes that much. I say Mama Closet a lot. I have been saying it a lot more recently, though. More recent, right? I say trap bandos a whole lot. Okay. Why do you spell it like that? Mama Closet. All right. Thanks, CJ. Kogo, what's out to Kogo? Gifted a membership. Thank you so much for that, Kogo. I appreciate you. Daxter sent in a super sticker. Thank you. I appreciate it. Lenon, change the dates. You have 2017 into 2027. Oh, did I? Okay, yeah, I'll go change it right now. Thank you, because I mean, people have been correcting me on my typos like for the last week, because the thumbnail for this video, I had it at 2007. I think I had 2017 at first. Someone said, what do you mean? Yeah, so I screwed that up. Let me go fix it right now. Thanks for letting me know. All right. So, okay, here we go. Okay, everyone hit the refresh and let me know if it fixed, if I fixed it. It should be fixed now. Okay. Matter of fact, let me refresh it too, just to make sure. Okay, yeah, it's good now. Okay, thanks, Christine. I appreciate the correction, because I wouldn't even have noticed it. All right, thank you for the super chat as well. James says, started being intimate with Umar at 23. She's now okay. So let me take a step back and make some corrections here. I'm gonna issue a retraction. It wasn't that she was 21 and now she's 23. So let me take all this back. I'm gonna correct everything right now. So I want to apologize for that because I want to be actual and factual. And thanks, James. So she started being intimate, allegedly, according to her, with Umar at the age of 23. She is now 25. So Umar would have probably been, I think this is safe to say, James, Umar probably would have been 49 at the time because he's 51 now. He could have been 50. He was either 49 or 50 when he was allegedly being intimate with this young woman, and she was 23. Now she's 25. Yeah. No shame. No shame whatsoever. Yeah, and I'm starting to think that that's part of what Umar does is he uses his mother in order to lure these women in to exploit them sexually, allegedly in this case, because I haven't talked with you, I ain't seen no receipts or anything like that. But, you know, thank you for the clarification. And again, I want to issue a retraction there. I was saying 21, but it's 23 when she started being intimate with Umar. Now she's 25. Okay. And again, I watched the videos, but I've been busy with a whole lot of other stuff. Tomorrow, I probably won't be live streaming tomorrow because I got some stuff going on tomorrow too. In fact, I'm sorry. Yeah, I gotta find this other thing. Tomorrow will mark the 25-year anniversary of me and my wife meeting. So it will be 25 years tomorrow. So I may not be live streaming tomorrow. It just depends on how my schedule works out. But my wife and I, we have plans because 25 years, that's an accomplishment. And that's the only anniversary that we celebrate. We don't celebrate when we had our marriage ceremony. We don't celebrate when we signed paperwork. You know, we don't celebrate anything. The only thing we celebrate is the day that we met, which is 25. It'll be 25 years tomorrow, and we also celebrate birthdays. But other than that, we don't celebrate other things. So it's huge, and I'm so blessed to get to be where I'm at today with her. Biggest blessing in my life by far. It's not even close. And then my kids second. So tomorrow, I probably won't be live streaming tomorrow. We'll probably get back on Wednesday. And I'm just thankful. I'm so thankful. You know, I can't express that any more deeply. And she's a wonderful person and a wonderful human being. And I would not be where I'm at today if it wasn't for her. She's been very patient too, you know? So anyway, yeah, now I think about it, I was 25 when we met. She was 21. So that's relatively young to be with someone, 25 years. It's been 25 years, my goodness. And it went by so quickly. Okay, so anyway, thank you for this correction, James. And like I said, I want to apologize for giving misinformation earlier on. Okay, the point I was going to get to is that even though all this stuff has been going on, there's other stuff going on too, by the way, because James sent me an email dealing with Umar talking about Suki Hana and some other stuff that's going on. I don't even want to get into that, my goodness. But anyway, I really haven't had time. I got all this other stuff going on behind the scenes right now. And so that's why I didn't take notes on the video. The young lady that was interviewed by Storm Monroe, she was also interviewed by another brother before that. I just can't remember his name right now. But so I want to apologize for not having the proper dates there, okay, or years. So James, again, real quick, she started being intimate with Umar at 23. She's now 25. Umar would have been either 50 or 49. Probably 49 years old at the time. 49-year-old dealing with a 23-year-old. Okay, that's diabolical. Right. All right, thanks, James, for the correction. And then Deshaun says, you think since she is on Section 8, she's likely on Medicare and some, yeah, probably. Yeah, it's highly likely. If not all of her at-home care should be covered. I would think so. But again, Umar is responsible for all of her finances, and it's likely, okay, I'm just saying it's likely, I'm speculating, that he uses the money that his mother receives for her care and whatever else, that's associated with that. He uses any money that comes through for himself. And so that money should be going towards paying a professional. But if he can pay less to someone, that a young lady that he brings in, or an older woman that he brings in, or middle-aged, whatever, if he can bring them in and pay him a lot less, then he'll do that, because that's how Umar is. And then he will just pocket the rest of the money and then use it for himself. And again, this has been going on since he's been the primary caretaker since 2017. But I have him in 2018 stating that he was a primary caretaker of his mother. This was July 5th of 2018. But there's another video where he said it was in 2017. Remember, he served me correctly. Okay? Yeah, it's all the way across the board. It's diabolical. Yeah, you know, sometimes I wonder why doesn't Umar get it? You know, either you keep living the way that you're living and you keep having these types of things happen, or you decide to make changes and have better things happen. I figure if you've been homeless since 2019, you should have learned a lesson by 2026. If you already got at least 3 baby mamas in Philadelphia alone, you should know better than to be behaving like this in 2026. If you have a daughter who's the same age as this young lady, you should know better. Right? If you've collected millions of dollars and there's nothing to show for it, you should have learned by now that it's not going to happen. So why you keep running with this? But again, with Umar, a lot of it has to do with greed. It has to do with lust. He's a very lustful individual. Women, watch out for those type of men too. They're real lustful. You know, now if you're in a relationship or, you know, you married, okay, I get it. But just lustful, just for any old thing? See, he's greedy, he's lustful, he's extremely selfish. You know, so there's a lot that factors in narcissism too, but a lot of this factors into why Umar he doesn't learn the lesson. His ego's over the top. But you would think by now, you know, that you're supposed to be this great black leader who's collected millions of dollars, but you're living off of your mama and you're living inside of her Section 8 housing and you're in control of everything, her finances, what is it, SSI, whatever coming through. But he's going to spend it on random women to come through who don't have the experience of taking care of an elderly person who's in this type of a situation, and he'll pay them whatever he needs to pay them. I guarantee you it's much less than what he would have to pay a professional. But see, that's where the greed part is there. Thank you, Deshaun. Jazz says, shouldn't focus on random accusations can be fake. Yeah, it could be. No, what could be, that's why I said alleged in terms of her being intimate, but in terms of her taking care of Umar's mother, she already provided receipts on that. In fact, she has video evidence of the interior and she walks through. Okay. So that's why I'm saying alleged on the intimate part. But no, it's not a random accusation that Umar groomed this young lady to come to take care of his mother. Okay, that's a statement of fact. Okay. Thanks, Jazz. Black Wolf says, look here for the men that might say she grown. When you're a father of a girl, you view young women completely different. You see them on your child's level. Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, it just depends on where you're at in life. As a father, you're not going to say she's grown, because what does that mean? Because she's 18, she's grown? How many of y'all were responsible adults at 18, at 19, at 20, at 21, 22, 23, 24? Okay. Now, some people, yeah, 21, maybe 22, maybe 23, 24, 25. I get that. But 18 doesn't make you grown. 19 as a father doesn't make you grown. 20 don't make you grown either. Okay, 21 doesn't make you grown. And all children grow at different paces too, by the way. You know, some children, they come into a more of adult mindset earlier on, whereas others, it takes longer. So you got to factor that in too. But as a father, when you see a young lady who's 23 dealing with Umar, who at the time would have been 49, maybe 50, I can't say that she's grown in the context of an intimate relationship with a 49-year-old or a 50-year-old. That ain't grown. But you're right. When you're a father, you see things differently, especially if you have daughters, because you understand that you watch your daughters grow. Now, question that you can ask for you males out there, if you don't have children, you don't understand the perspective that Black people come from. And I share this perspective too, by the way. If you had a daughter and your daughter was 23, would you want her to be messing with or being messed with someone who's 49, 50, a dude? And if you say yes, well, that's a whole nother conversation. If you cool with that. And if she does get involved with that and you have a daughter, do you say, oh, well, she's grown? No. And now if you do, that's a whole nother conversation. But if you're a father and you're a loving father and you're a protective father, that's some bullshit. All right. Thank you, Black Wolf. Miranda says, happy anniversary to you and your wife. That's truly a blessing. All right, come on, quick chat. Let's sing happy anniversary to Lenon and the missus. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, is there a happy anniversary song? I don't think Steve Wonder ever did a happy. Did he do a happy? I don't think he did a happy anniversary song. He did that birthday song though. Yeah. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, 25 years in counting, you know, and going strong too. Yeah, I always forget it. It's on St. Patrick's Day. I always forget that because we didn't celebrate St. Patrick's Day. And I remember I was living in Oakland. She was living in Berkeley. And we had a mutual friend. And that day I was going to go to that mutual friend because that mutual friend was I was in a band with him. We were going to like practice and stuff. And I went that day. I went afternoon. I went to the I think it's Ashley Flea Market or Ashby Flea Market. I can't remember which one. It's like a flea market that had people selling stuff, African drummers and all this kind of stuff. It was really, really nice. And I was walking through there, and then I met my mutual friend, our mutual friend there. And then later he was like, "Well, come on to the house and we can practice whatever." So I said, okay. So I went back home, and then later on that evening, it wasn't even that evening, it was still light outside, but I drove and went to his place, and then we were working on music, and then my wife and her friend walked in, and he knew her, he knew both of them, but he knew them, and they were talking, and I was playing on this keyboard, and then I was listening to their conversation, like I had the headphones on, I was kind of listening to their conversation. And she was talking about how she had just cut her hair off, and prior to that, because she grew up with Rosses and stuff, that was like the cultural thing for her and her mom and aunt. Mom, rest in peace, but aunt, they were twins, and she had just cut her hair off for the first time. She had locks the whole time from childhood, and cut it off for the first time. And I thought that was intriguing. Like I was like, wow, what's going on? Because that's a big move for anyone to engage in, especially a woman. And then I had asked her, why don't you take, because she had on a head wrap. So if you take off your head wrap, we want to see what it looks like. And she didn't want to do it. I said, I think because she was like, my head is bald. It's probably a little bit more hair than I have on right here. And I said, I think women with bald heads are sexy. I said something stupid like that. Just weirdo. But I remember she kind of perked up, and then she took it off, and our eyes locked, and we were staring at each other. And then my friend and the other, her friend, they were wondering like why we weren't saying, we were just looking at each other like this. It was something. And so anyway, they talked, and then at a certain point they were ready to leave, and then they were going to go to the Ashby, the BART. And I said, well, I'll drive you guys back over there, and make sure you guys get there safe. And her friend sat in the front seat. She sat in the back seat, and I was just talking to her friend. I really wasn't talking to her. I was just talking to her friend. And we get to, and this Ashby BART wasn't too far from where my friend stayed. And then I think they thought that I was going to drop them off. I'll park, and I said, I'll walk you guys in, because it was more safe to think because it was getting a little dark. And that's why I didn't want them to walk. I said, no, I'll drive you guys there because it was after sunset. So I walked them up. And then when they get to the part where the escalator goes down, I stood at the top of the escalator, and she was going down, and she looked back up, and I was staring right. Yeah. So anyway, me and my friend, we were talking about her, and later, I don't know if it was the same day or another day, we were talking about. I said, yeah, man, she was really interesting. Blah blah blah. And he was like, yeah, well, I'll tell you, man, her friend, we were talking, and that she wanted to know more about you. I said, oh, yeah. We were just some young old kids. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to say kids, but we was young. And I still have the picture of our first date. There was this lady that took the picture. I can't even remember her name, but I used to play flute at this. It was Tony. One of the guys, it was called Java House. It was a coffee house, and they would have different like creative people come through, poets and singers and all kind of people. And I used to play there. I can't remember what day it was on. I think it was on Thursday or something like that. But anyway, our first date, that's when we went on our first date. That's what I think our first date was. She said our first date was Ethiopian restaurant or something. I don't remember that. I remember Ethiopia because that's her favorite food. But I thought our first, because we got a picture of it, because the lady was like, "Who is this?" I said, "Oh, this is just she's a friend of mine." Because she was like, "Oh," she was like, "I thought you guys been together for a long time." I said, "No," but I still have that picture, you know. And that was 25 years ago, and here we are, five kids, 5 children later, and still going strong. Okay, so thank you, Miranda, and thank you guys to everyone who's been around for the journey. Yeah, Eastby, Ethiopian food is good. Yeah, we plan on going to go have Ethiopian food tomorrow. Yeah. We drank honey wine. I remember one of our friends one time. One of my friends had come over, and we had, because they put the honey wine in a bottle of Hennessy. They put it in different bottles, but for whatever reason, that's all they had this one time. So we had honey wine. My friend was like, "Oh, y'all up in here drinking Hennessy?" So I was like, "No, that's not what we do." But anyway, we had honey wine. That was one of our favorites back in the day. Anyway, okay, let's get going here. Thank you guys so much. Yeah. It was the Henny. It was but I have a lot of great stories, especially from the early days with me and my wife. You know, and here we are 25 years later. So I'm a blessed man, and I recognize that. Okay, so let's get going here, everyone. Thanks everyone who sent in super chats. I appreciate it. Thanks everyone for the kind words for the anniversary tomorrow. I appreciate that as well. Okay, so let's get into it, everyone. We got 1,000 people in the building, 1,065 people in the building. Thanks everyone who's tuned in. If at any point you're enjoying the show, hit that like button. I appreciate that. So we're going to go to March 8th of 2026, which was roughly about a week ago. And this is the most recent Umar Johnson interview. And I have to say before I get into this that I edited out commercials. I edited out where Father David has other people speaking, because there are other people who come on and they talk, and it's not relevant to Umar. So I just want to say that, because normally we watch things straight through, and I don't want to put something up and then it's like no context. No, all the context is there specific for Umar. I just edit out commercials, music, and I edit out people who kind of come on and talk, and it's just something totally different. It ain't got nothing to do with Umar. Okay, just to be fair. Laurie also says, just celebrated me and my wife's 8th year last week. Congratulations. Blessings to you and Mrs. Honor. I love love. I hear you on that. Also, don't get caught up in all the stories. Anyone can make receipts these days. Yeah, that's true. No, I totally agree with that as well. But this young lady in particular, she has video footage of the interior. So it can be stated factually that she was inside of the residence. And also it can be stated factually that Umar did leave her a voice message as well. And you're right, text messages can be fabricated, because I've had that experience too. People can come up with all types of stories. I recognize that. But at bare minimum, we can't say that she was inside of that residence, which is telling, because in my opinion, Umar should not be having young ladies like that really anywhere around him. Okay, but that's a whole nother topic. Okay, thank you, Larry, and congratulations on the 8th year anniversary. Okay, that's awesome. Keep it going. All right, Lester says, could you imagine the scandals between Umar and staff if the school ever did open? It would shut down from lawsuits. Yeah, we've talked about that in the past too. It's highly likely that if anything ever actually opened, it will be a lawsuit haven. There'll be all types of people coming through with lawsuits. You talk about you look at how Umar talks about single mothers, and there's been times where he's made references to the women who come with their children, who's supposedly going to have their children enrolled, how he's going to have to paddle them. There's going to be a paddle room if they act up and all this stuff. He's going to have cameras so that they don't Me Too them, all this kind of stuff. Everything is this underlying theme of sexual interaction. Okay, that's problematic in and of itself. You shouldn't be talking like that, period. But if you're supposed to be this professional and you're supposed to be a school principal and you're the lead on this, you definitely shouldn't be talking like this. But the point is that if this hypothetically, Lester, if it ever opened, yeah, there'll be all types of issues going on, lawsuits left and right. And it's not just him dealing scandals, dealing with Umar with the potentially, hypothetically, the women, the single mothers who have their children enrolled, but also how Umar has talked about these children in many cases, sexualizing these little girls, sexualizing little boys for that matter. Okay, we have a long history of that with Umar in terms of that's what the receipts show, historically speaking, that he has a long history of that type of talk. That type it's totally inappropriate. The point is that I wouldn't be surprised if, hypothetically, I would not be surprised if hypothetically this school opens, but there would also be issues in terms of how Umar's treating these children, what he's saying to these children. I remember there's a video where he said that if your child acts up, they're going to have a room in the back called the black room, and they're going to take your boy back there and pound their damn chest in. Okay, you shouldn't be talking like that in the first place, because that's physical violence and physical abuse. That's someone else's child he's talking about. But hypothetically, Lester, if it ever got to the point where he actually opened up a school and Umar talks like that online, that's the tip of the iceberg. How would Umar behave? How would he talk in private behind closed doors of this fake phony school that he calls FDMG? All right. Thanks, Lester. What's up, Kev? Says, Lenon, happy anniversary to you and the mission. Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. We've been blessed. We really have. Again, it'll be 25 years tomorrow and 5 children. So a child every 5 years. Sexual intercourse of once every 5 years. That's how that works. I'm just doing the math for it, okay? All right. Thanks, Kev. What's up, D? That is all. Happy anniversary to you and your missus, my brother. Thank you so much, D. That is all. Yeah, I appreciate it. And I'll relay all this to her after we get done with this live stream. I'll let her know that y'all was given the happy anniversaries. Thank you so much for the super chat as well. D. That is all. And also Kev and Lester and Laurie. Okay, I hope I didn't miss anybody. Okay, let's get going here, everybody. Okay, because I wanted to try to get all this in today in like 2 hours, but I don't think we're going to be able to do that. But we're going to try our best. And I see all of the happy anniversaries here too. Thank you guys so much. What's up, guys, little princess? All right. Okay, so let's get back to it. So this video right here is from March 8th of 2026. And I'm going to try to find this other video too. I couldn't find it earlier, but I'm going to see if I can find it while we get into this. Okay. All right. Shout out to everyone inside the Cook Correct Chat. Thank you guys so much. Also, thanks to the mods. And also thanks to everyone who hit that like button. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you hit that like button. Here we go.
This is why I asked Dr. Johnson to be a part of this program, because WURD is going through our fundraising campaign season right now. Last week we had a radiothon and we raised some funds. We had a Black Agenda cash mob down at Center in the Park. And I wanted Dr. Johnson to come on to tell us about
Thank you.
The need to support our institutions here as Africans born in America. A lot of times people will say they have some opposition to, let's say, giving Dr. Umar Johnson funds for his academy, Boys Academy, Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy in Wilmington, Delaware. But I said to myself, don't nobody had no problem when Jerry Lewis had his Jerry's Kids raising funds. Nobody has a problem when you see all these commercials on television.
Okay, let's be clear, it's a false equivalency, David Barnes, because when he's been collecting donations since at least 2012 and has nothing to show for it, meaning that his promise was that he was going to open up school for Black boys. He said that in 2010, the school was going to open September 11, 2013, and not one Black child has been educated. None of the money has gone towards what Umar Johnson claimed that he was going to do. And again, people that argue, well, he said he was going to acquire a building. That wasn't the promise. The promise was that he was going to open up a school. Promised in 2010 to begin laying the groundwork for the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Pan African School for Black boys specializing in learning disabilities and disruptive behavior disorder. This will be a private school, and yes, you will pay in order for your son to attend. Grand opening September 11, 2013. His promise wasn't to purchase trap bandos. His promise was to open up a school. That has not been fulfilled, so he has nothing to show for it. You see the difference? All of the millions of dollars that Umar Johnson has raised, not one penny has gone towards benefiting Black children. Well, you acquired these abandoned buildings. Yeah, but him acquiring those abandoned buildings and sitting on them for 7 years does not benefit Black children. Y'all see the logic here? So, Mr. Barnes, that's what you call a false equivalency. See, it says this whole situation sucks and Umar should be ashamed of himself, but do these people not do any research before accepting the gig to taking care of his mom? Yeah, that's a great question. That's a great question because there's enough information out there. Obviously, from what I remember, the young lady saying that she first heard about Umar, I think she said when she was 16. Don't quote me on that, okay? Because I didn't watch the videos over and over again. I didn't take any notes. Okay, I've been too busy with other stuff. But that she saw him kind of like a celebrity kind of thing, you know, and that she didn't know about his background. It's difficult nowadays for, it's just difficult for me to accept that a person can't get the appropriate information, especially about someone like Umar. So, I mean, I don't know. And then, well, I don't know. I can't call that. I really can't, because I've done extensive research into Umar, so I know what it is. But, is it possible that a lot of these people, they didn't do the research? It's possible. But the research is already out there. There's plenty of people who've been covering Umar for years, do fantastic work too. Plenty of people. Yeah. So, but do these people not do any research before accepting the gig of taking care of his mom? Yeah, and see, that's the thing, CJ. That's the next level to all of this. It's not just, let's say, individuals agreeing to communicate or hang out with Umar or whatever. That's not just it. It's that's part of it. But the bigger thing is that when Umar, he turns this into, okay, I got a job for you and I can pay you to take care of my mother. That's like on a whole nother level. Because if someone's asking that, you should probably, well, I'm just saying, I know, again, I can't speak to anyone else's mentality, but I would like to think that a person would, at that point, they would say, okay, why does he need me to take care of his mother? Right? And then let me go do some research into this guy to see what's really going on here, because the research is out there. But again, these are different times. I'm sure that because there are people who still believe that Umar is going to open up a school. Well, there's research out there that shows that he has no intention of opening up a school. Well, have they done the research? Probably not. And then there's another thing. Maybe they have done research, but they dismiss it and they just keep going with it just because they want to believe in the guy. So I really can't call it because I can't speak to anyone else's mentality, but it's problematic in my mind because there's plenty of information at this point. There's plenty of information out here on Umar that anyone should be able to get to, especially a young lady will be able to get to be able to determine whether or not she should be dealing with Umar. Okay. Yeah, it's a good question. It's a good question. Thanks, CJ. Derek says 5 more years means 1 more kid. Lenon, happy anniversary, bro. No. Now we done. I'm too old. I mean, I can make it happen. Trust me. It ain't gonna take me but maybe 2 minutes or less. That ain't no problem. But at my age, it's past. We're good. We're waiting on grandbabies. That's what I can say. We waiting on grandbabies. Thank you, Derek, for the super chat, and thanks CJ as well. Okay, let's get going here, everybody, because we already wow, this 52 minutes went by quick. It went by quick. Swaggle Nita says most people don't do basic research on celebrities. I agree. This is why the documentary is needed. Appreciate your hard work. But thank you so much. First of all, let me address that first part, Swaggle Nita, and shout out to you. Yeah, I think Umar's level of celebrity plays a big part in this. And then also people want to believe in him. And so even though there's research out there and it's conclusive, it's not like fabrication or spinning false narratives or lies. That's not it. In most cases, there's enough information out there for people to make an educated decision as to whether or not they want to engage Umar on any level, on any level, including donating money, right? But I think Umar's level of celebrity, and it's not that it's major, it's not like on the level of a Michael Jordan or, nothing like that, but it's enough to where perhaps people think they know who he is and they don't do the basic research. So I see your point. It's a really good point. And then this is why the documentary is, yeah, the documentary, I agree with this because it's gonna outline and it'll provide proof of Umar Johnson's whole life, and it's fair too. I'm not going to be speculating. I did tell myself that if I do speculate, it's going to be minimal, and I'll make sure that I'll issue that. I'll state, hey, listen, this is speculation on my part, but blah 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 blah. But that's going to be limited. It won't be a significant part of the documentary. It'll be mainly Umar Johnson's own words, my analysis, not me spinning a false narrative, and then I'll back it up with receipts. And it should outline enough for people to be able to have more than enough information, and they don't have to go researching and go to all kinds of stuff online to go find. They could just watch the documentary. There'll be more than enough there to really get an understanding of Umar Johnson, his history, and who he is, and what his intentions are. And that should be more than enough for people to realize, under normal circumstances, to realize who and what Umar Johnson is. Okay? So I'm plugging away one day at a time, Thanks, Ragonito. Okay, and then a lady says, congrats, Lenon. There's an entire community out here still saying Umar is a good man. Put this $5 on some honey wine for your money. Yeah, but I guess when we went to the restaurant out here, I don't know if they even have. No, I think that they do. We've never had it since we were out here. Maybe we'll have some tomorrow for old times' sake. Have a little, take it to the head. You feel me? All right. Thanks, lady. I appreciate that. Yeah, and there's people who still think that Umar he's a good man. And see, the thing is that I know that that's not true, and it's not that it matters because who he is matters because he's done a lot of damage and he's still doing damage. You guys see what I'm saying? And if for nothing else, the documentary, it will provide information for women out there and young ladies about Umar to where they can make an educated decision on whether or not they want to deal with this guy. This makes sense? So if for nothing else, that'll be there. And that's a service to provide that service because this guy, he done ran through a gang of women for decades now. So if nothing else, he's not a good man in a sense. He has respect for women. He's willing to commit to a woman. He's willing to raise a family with the woman. He's willing to treat her with human dignity and respect. He's not even doing that for his own mother. That's another thing. Women understand if the man don't, if he living in mama closet and not even taking care of her like he's supposed to as a primary caretaker, that's a huge red flag. Why would you think he cares about you? If he don't take care of his own kids, why would you think he would want to take care of kids that you have with him or potentially have with him? So there's a lot of lessons there, a lot of lessons. So yeah, the documentary is going to help with this for sure. More people they'll wake up. And like I said, it's not like me lying on Umar or painting false narratives or any of that stuff. I've always been fair. I've made mistakes and I've owned up to those mistakes. But I've always been fair with Umar. Okay. Thanks, lady. All right, let's get going.
About send $19 a month to this organization, that organization. But when the black person try to raise funds for our institutions, some people have a problem, and I don't understand that.
Hey, listen, it's not a black or white or Asian issue. Okay, so don't make it a racial issue, David Barnes. That's not what the issue is. Furthermore, Umar doesn't have an institution. He has abandoned buildings. Okay, so that's another false equivalency.
I really don't understand that. How in the world, when you have black people trying to raise funds for our own community, some people have a problem. And one thing I say, people say, well, what is Dr. Johnson building? What is he doing? How come it's taking so long? And I say one thing, so I don't care who you are. If you listen to Dr. Umar Johnson for 5-10 minutes, you're going to learn something that you did not know before.
Okay, but that's something separate from the school scam. You don't say, okay, he's collected millions of dollars for a school that does not exist. There is no institution. There is no school. There is no school that not one black child has been educated. But listen to what he says. Okay, what he says doesn't justify him scamming black people for a school that does not exist. That's deflection. That's what that is right there. Okay.
I want to give you some information, and that's worth a contribution because these other places you give these funds to, what do you get out of it? If your child don't have cancer, what do you get out of it?
Okay, let's be clear about this. David Barnes, what has anyone that's donated to Umar Johnson School, what have they gotten out of it? And that's the point. Not one black child has been educated. Umar has not provided any services up there. He threw 2 parties where he does fake marriages. But has he done a book bag drive for the kids in Wilmington, Delaware? Or a turkey drive for Thanksgiving for the families that don't have food for Thanksgiving? Christmas drive for the kids that don't have Christmas gifts? Has he put together a sports league? 7 years.
It's about raising funds, raising money for elephants, raising money for dogs. It's about saving the dog.
Okay, what does that got to do with anything? If people want to spend their money to save an elephant or a dog, they can do that as long as the elephant and the dog get saved. But if they're going to send the money to Umar for a school that doesn't exist, that's a different thing.
Dogs. What about saving our own children? How about that? So anyhow.
Okay, when you say our own children, Mr. Barnes, Umar doesn't even take care of his own children. The hypocrisy is over. It's through the roof this month.
Dr. Johnson on. Oh, Dr. Umar Ifatude Johnson, how you doing today? Dr. Johnson, how you doing today?
Peace and Pan Africanism. Baba David, glad to be with you this morning. Peace and love to all the listeners.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard any of what I was just saying. Did you hear any of that?
Just the final few seconds.
Oh, because I was saying, you know, it gets on my nerves when people talk about they have a problem with you raising funds for Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, and but they have no problems when they raise funds for Jerry's kids and save children from around the world and save the elephants, save the dog.
Yeah, but if the money goes to where it's supposed to go, Mr. Barnes, it's not a problem, right?
What about saving our own children? How about that? And I see you, Dr. Cassandra. Also, we're going to talk to you as well. But I wanted to just let people know that and we have to be able to willing to support our own institutions.
What you talking about?
And that's why I asked Dr. Johnson to come on. Actually, last week, but he wasn't available last week because I thought that if he was on, we could have, have him say, what do you think about raising funds, Dr. P? I know people be getting on you sometimes about. And let me tell you, and I had to tell you, I had to make this disclosure. I was listening to D.L. Hughley, and he was saying it was kind of funny at first, but then I got offended. He said he always tried to beat up on Dr. Umar. He said, "Well, I don't know if Dr. Umar."
Yeah, I'm sorry, everyone. Are we still streaming? My screen froze. Can you all hear me? My screen froze. I think I had this issue last week. Yeah, y'all let me know. Oh, you here? Okay. All right. Yeah, I can't. Let me. Yeah. Okay, can you guys hear and see me now? Yeah, let me know if you can hear me now. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, it just went out again for some reason. Let me try one more time. Okay, can you guys hear and see me now? Can't hear, can't see. Okay, I'm gonna try one more time. Can you hear me now? And see me, I should say. Okay, we're good. Okay, thanks everybody. I apologize. I don't know what happened. The same thing happened last week for some reason. Okay, I'm gonna try to pull this up again, and that's why it keeps freezing for some reason. Let's see what happens. Okay, here we go.
This is why I asked Dr. Johnson to be a part of this program, because institutions for dogs. Say about save the dogs. What about saving our own children? How about that? So anyhow, Dr. Johnson on. Oh, Dr. Umar Ifatude Johnson, how you doing today?
Was it good?
Dr. Johnson, how you doing today?
Okay. Thanks, Black Wolf.
Peace and Pan Africanism. Baba David, glad to be with you this morning. Peace and love to all the listeners.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard
What's up,
any of what I
everyone?
was just saying. Did you hear any of that?
Just the final few seconds.
Oh, because I was saying, you know, it gets on my nerves when people talk about they have a problem with you raising funds for Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, and but they have no problems when they raise funds for Jerry's kids and save children from around
So I got us to us at Umar froze your account.
the world and save the elephants, save
What's
the
up,
dogs.
D-Will?
What about saving our own children? How
What's
about
up,
that? And I
Bryce?
see you, Dr. Cassandra. Also, we're going to talk to you as well, but I wanted to just let people know that
Kevin Hart ain't got nothing on this chat. Yeah, this chat room is hilarious. This chat room is hilarious. Thank you guys again. Let's go.
and we have to be able to willing to support our own institutions, and that's why I asked Dr. Johnson to come on. Actually, last week, but he wasn't available last week because I thought that if he was on it, we could have, have him say, what do you think about raising funds, Dr. P? I know people.
He wanted them on last week because he wanted Umar to promote them so that they can get some money. That's what it comes down to. Hit the one.
Be getting on you sometimes about. And let me tell you. And I had to tell you, I had to make this disclosure. I was listening to D.L. Hughley, and he was saying, it was kind of funny at first, but then I got offended. He said, he always tried to beat up on Dr. Umar. He said, well, I don't know if Dr. Umar Johnson is a Pan Africanist, but I know he's a panhandler. And I was laughing, but then I was offended because why do people keep trying to downplay when we raising funds for our own institutions, but they don't have no problem with all these other people raising funds for their issues? What do you think about that, Dr. Johnson?
When I look at it, Baba David,
Thanks, Mustard Hunter. I appreciate that.
I have a couple assessments on this situation. Number one, if we were a financially responsible people, it would make sense just a little bit. And the reason I say it would make sense.
Yeah, see, he wants to shame black people here, but Umar's not financially responsible. He wasn't financially responsible when he acquired these trap banners and didn't have his paperwork in order for nonprofit status. So therefore, his donors had to pay for taxes, property taxes that would not have needed to be paid if Umar was financially responsible. And the total that, for my calculations, in terms of taxes, that accrued was with fees too, in late fees and all that stuff, was $172,931. So $172,000 wasted money. That's not Umar being responsible. If Umar was responsible financially, he would have his own place at the age of 51. He wouldn't be living off of his mama. If Umar Johnson was financially responsible, he would have his own vehicle. He wouldn't be using donation money to rent cars. If Umar was financially responsible, he would even have acquired these trap banners in Wilmington, Delaware for $400,000 back in February of 2019. If he was financially responsible, he wouldn't have been sitting on them for 7 years because there's a burn rate. There's money that's wasted every single day for the last 7 years just by owning these bandos. If Umar was financially responsible, then he would have paid the bills associated with these trap bandos, and therefore last year it would not have come to pass wherein potentially these trap bandos in Wilmington, Delaware were going to be sold off at auction, sheriff's sale. But he wants to shame black people as if black people are not financially responsible. Let's go.
Just a little bit is because I have been extremely responsible in the handling of the FDMG Academy funds, extremely responsible. So
he's a liar. I just gave you a few examples. There's plenty of other ones. Y'all come up with any more, go and put them in there.
Still wouldn't make sense, but I still say nonetheless, if we were financially responsible, it would make a little sense. But you're talking about people, Baba David, who spend more money on cell phones than any other race in the country. We spend more money on footwear than any other race in the country.
Is that true? Cell phones?
We spend more money on social media, more time on the internet. We spend more money on perfume. Black women spend more money on hair care and beauty products than all other women put together in the country. We spend more money on luxury automobiles, and yet we have almost no critical independent institutions that we absolutely own. So how can you complain about someone who's trying to build a critical, relevant institution when we don't have any, and you complain about his raising funds while you give non-Black people billions of dollars every year to take back to their community so they can use it to oppress?
Okay, on that cell phone thing, African-American consumers frequently report the highest usage rate for cell phone calling, texting, and related data services, often spending more on cellular phone services annually compared to other groups. So services, but on cell phones themselves. Additionally, Black and Hispanic adults are more likely than white adults to be smartphone dependent for internet access. Yeah, but see, it could be argued that the reason why is because Black people don't have access to the internet. There's a significant percentage of Black people who don't have access to the internet outside of their smartphone. Okay, so there's other factors involved there. But to a degree, Umar's correct on that. Okay.
You, and you say nothing about that at all. To me, it's a complete hypocrisy, complete contradiction. You cannot complain.
Yeah, so it also says African Americans are also more likely to use their cell phones to bridge the digital divide. That's what I was talking about just now, connecting to the internet due to lower home broadband adoption. Right. So for instance, because of financial reasons, or perhaps they don't have access or high-speed internet in certain areas where Black people reside, right? That they use their cell phones instead of paying a service, let's say through ISP to come into their home, they'll just get it through their cell phone, right? Now, does that mean that Black people spend more money on cell phones than any other race? Not necessarily.
Right? About someone raising funds for something positive.
Yeah,
while you waste trillions every year on things negative. And the last thing I'll say on that, Baba David, is this.
Now listen, getting a cell phone to bridge the digital divide is not negative, Umar. All right?
When I study the situation of the animosity and the hate that comes from some people with regard to the FDMG Academy campaign, and don't get me wrong, Baba David, there have been people who have come out here and purported to do something positive and have raised money and did not deliver on what they promised. There have been people who...
Yeah, you. You're talking about yourself. See how he's, and it is true that there are people out there, not me, not that I do this, even though there's no school. I said it was going to open September 11, 2013. Not me, not I, the Great Ifatu Day, but these other people, these other Negroes, as it were. Umar, you funny, boy. These trifling Blacks, Umar, he talking about himself. He talking about the man in the mirror, family. Someone said Baba Smurf. Yeah, Umar, I just need that money, family, as it were. Because these Black people, they spend their money on their cell phones, as it were. All right. Umar, funny boy. Yeah, he's just projecting. He's like, them over there, they don't live in their mama. Those people over there may live in their mama closet, as it were, but I don't. Shout out to Pyru. Oh man, that's funny, boy. All right, let me get back on track. What's up, Vinny? Let me get back on track before I get blown off. I'll keep looking inside this chat room. Y'all be making me go crazy. I be like, yeah, those Blacks over there, they're the ones that turn the heat down, as it were. As for me, I don't touch the thermostat, family. I don't touch it. Okay. Yeah, I know. He has at least 2 phones. I was gonna say this in. I ain't gonna do that. This guy, he be live streaming with phone. He be holding 2 phones like this when he live stream. I said, this guy. All right. Let me get out this room. I love y'all. Boy, y'all crazy. All right. Okay, where am I at anyway? Let me do these super chats. I calm down. What you'll learn is how to keep the con going. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying this last week, Derek. All of this is about extension. That's all this is. It's what can Umar do to extend this scam further? And whatever he does, and truth be told, Derek, he's learned along the way too. Like what he can do, what he can get away with, what he can propose that maybe people are buying into versus things that people ain't feeling. Like when he was talking about he gonna go to law school and he wanted black people to pay for it, and it was gonna cost $300,000. I think he said $300K. He's just throwing that out there because he was trying to learn. Umar's like AI. He's trying to learn whether or not this is going, is feasible. But people wasn't feeling that, so he dropped it. He doesn't mention it again. But as this has progressed over these many years, he's figured out ways to keep this con going. You're absolutely right, and he's learned. Trifling, but hey, that's Umar. Thank you, Derek. David better be careful. Okay, all right. 225 got jokes for him. I thought you were gonna say something else. What's up, 225? He's named Barnes because he smelled. No, we're not gonna do that. Okay. I spend money on a phone, I get a phone. Exactly. When you put money in FDMG, you get hopes and dreams. Absolutely. What people are financing, they're giving money to, I should say, is Umar Johnson's dreams. Nothing more. It's not tangible. It's not reality. The dream is to open up a school, right? FDMG, Pan African School for Black boys, specializing in learning disability and disruptive behavior disorders. This will be a private school, and yes, you will pay in order for your son to attend. It's a dream that people are, and it sounds nice, because we have nice dreams, right? Everybody does. It sounds nice, but it's not tangible or real. And even 7 years after acquiring these abandoned buildings, are still not tangible or real. Not one black child has been educated, but this has been going on for such a long time. This goes back. He conceptualized in 2004. In 2010, he gives a grand opening date. Okay, it's 16 years ago where he gives a grand opening date. So it's a dream. It's nothing more. It's not a reality. So what people are paying or what they're giving Umar money for is his dream. That's the difference, because there's a difference. You give money to something that doesn't exist, and you don't get what was promised, which was a school. Whereas when you buy a phone, you get a phone. When you buy Nikes, you get some Nikes. When you buy McDonald's, you get McDonald's. When you get the grits, you get the grits. When women, if you want to go get something to take care of your hair, you pay that money, you get stuff to take care of your hair, right? That's basic. Nothing wrong with that. But when people donate to FDMG, what do they get? Nada. Nothing. Zilch. So that's why it's a big, it's a false equivalency that Umar Johnson has made time and time again, but David Barnes mimics, he parrots. That somehow it's wrong for black people to spend their money on other things where they get what they paid for versus when they give money to Umar and they don't get anything in return. Somehow that's right. When you don't get what you were promised. But it's wrong when you pay for something and you get what was promised. All right. Thanks, Young Money. U225 says David Barnes talking real reckless for someone needed 5 Blue Chew in a prayer for his. Don't do that. Okay, U225. Let's go light on Father David. Okay. Again, he knows Umar is a scammer, but he has him on. It's still not right, but anyway. Thank you, U225 for super chat. Young Money as well, and Derek. Black Wolf says Umar thinks of this BS while in that nasty. Nasty ass bathroom, rolling around in that filthy tub, splashing and saying it. That tub was filthy though. I knew it was because when she did like this and had the turn, when she was gonna push the screen over, the shower curtain, the screen, when she was gonna push this, because I knew she was gonna do it. When she did like this, I got scared. I ain't gonna lie. Hit the one. Then she moved it over, and it looked, and it was filthy in there. It had a flashback because when I was in college the first time, when I was a kid, young, I for 2 summers, I think it was for 2 summers, might have been 3 summers. I was a custodian. So I would clean bathrooms, clean toilets, clean apartments, and all that kind of stuff. That allowed me to stay on campus for the summer. And some of them bathrooms, I couldn't believe how filthy these. Some of these bathtubs, you can tell, because there'd be 4 people in that apartment. Legally, I should say. There'd be 4 people in each apartment. It was clear to me that they hadn't cleaned that bathtub for the whole school year. 4 people living up in there. Just filthy. So I already knew what the deal was. So when she flipped, I said, oh, and then I had flashback of the bathroom. The bathroom I saw, though, they were worse than that, to be honest with you, but it was still bad. There's no way. You're supposed to be the primary caretaker for your mama who's bedridden. Again, this kind of gets lost in all of this because, you know, mostly people are talking about this young lady and, you know, even allegedly having sexual relations with Umar. Okay, and I get all that, you know, but the real issue here is the quality of life that Umar Johnson's mother is receiving, and it's a very low quality of life. And Umar, as a primary caretaker, he should not have her living like that, period. So that kind of gets missed in all of this, you know, that his mother, who's elderly, who's bedridden, she has been forced to live out her years in this type of a situation. Just horrible. The Umar should have that place spick and span 365 days a year so that she can live out her years with some level of dignity and respect. It's a shame. It really is. Yeah, but when that lady, when the young lady when she did like this, we're gonna open it. I said, oh, here we go. And real quick, because I don't want to get into it, but the thing is, there was a part where the camera pans a little bit and you see like this black stuff on the wall. I think people think that that's like mold. I don't think it was mold. I think that it's Umar with his hair dyed because he's taking over the whole second floor. Got his mama staying downstairs in the living room. But the bathroom is upstairs. She's not unable to get up there. That's his bathroom in essence. It's just deplorable. Thanks, Black Wolf. How can David be pro-black, but his that's too much. Conservative Spartan says, see, and that's why the Ku Klux Klan is great. Word on the curb, Mr. Honor, is we're cold. No, not at all. Yeah, there are specific dynamics to a cult. Like I've researched that. You know, I think what happens is that people have to find something. You know, people have to find something to discredit someone else, and they'll go through the extremes. You know, it's like when people they used to call me gay. It's not true. I remember this one guy. He was saying that my wife and I we were committing Medicare fraud. That's not true either. And it turns out this person was. That I was a PDF. That's not true. So I think what happens with people is they have to find something, you know, and whatever they can find to justify whatever level of hate that they may have, they'll do that. You know, let me be clear about something too. It's not that I hate Umar. I don't like what he's doing, but it's not that I hate Umar. Not at all. I actually want to see him do better. And I've done my best over the years to give him my best advice in terms of things that he could do to get his life turned around. But he's hard-headed and he don't listen. But I'm not going to fabricate things about him. And I'm not going to lie on the guy. And I'm not going to try to reach for things to paint false narratives about him either. Right? Right. Thank you, Conservative Spartan. The way I look at it is that the Ku Klux Klan, it's a very supportive place and it's a loving place. I know we goof off and we clown too, but overwhelmingly, historically speaking, that's what it's been about. Right? Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Let's see here. No, you 2 to 5. That's too. You're going too far. No. Let's see. This is Ike. Ike says he used the FDMG toilet rag to clean the tub. Yeah, that was horrible. Yeah, that was absolutely horrible. Now, I'm still debating whether or not I'm going to have that inside of the documentary, because it was crazy. Real quick, definition of a cult. A cult is typically defined as a social group with socially deviant or novel beliefs and practices. There's nothing going on here that's socially deviant. There's no novel beliefs and practices. People have different belief systems too up in here, often characterized by authoritarian control. I don't have any control over the chat room. In fact, the chat room largely controls how these shows go. And I don't dictate to people what they should be doing or any of that kind of stuff. Okay, what I recommend people do, because there's been people who say, listen, I'm gonna go over to Umar's Instagram page and I'm gonna say this, and I tell people, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Extreme devotion to a charismatic leader. Well, I don't consider myself to be a charismatic leader. I don't consider myself to be a leader either. And the thing is that, no, I don't think that it's extreme devotion either, because people call me outside the chat room all the time and clown me too. So that doesn't apply either. And isolation from society. Well, that's not the case either, because this is on social media. Modern usage is mostly pejorative, implying abusive, coercive, or high control groups. No, there's no abuse. It's not like you guys are being abused by being here. You're not being coerced into anything, and it's not a high control group either. I let people do what they do. In fact, I try to stay out of the chat room, because otherwise I get caught up in there, and it goes in a whole nother direction. So anyway, yeah, people consider, what people tend to do is they'll reach and they'll try to find things to try to discredit people or to try to cause harm. That's not what I'm about. Even with Umar, I'm not about that. Okay? Never have been, never will be. Thank you, Ike. J Civic says, I graduated from FDMG school. Congratulations, your interest rate is still 18%. At least 18%. Yeah, that's the thing. If hypothetically the school ever opens up, can you imagine what type of education? Will it be a quality education for the children who graduate with a degree or a diploma that's irrelevant and is not substantial because the school's not going to be accredited? No, what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to go pursue their GED after their fake graduation from FDMG. And in that case, yeah, their interest rate is probably still going to be 18%. All right. Thank you, J Civic. If this were a code, 225 would be banned by now. Yeah, that's true. You have a point here. Okay. Right. Justice sent in a super sticker as well. Thank you so much. User 225 says, Lenon censoring me is Asian discrimination. No, what are you talking about? It's Asian discrimination. No, you just be going too far. That's all. Anyway, the other thing too is I'm part Asian, bro. So you can't use that. That's funny. And then user 225 said, Lenon, have your children ridden in a lowrider? No, they haven't. No, they don't know nothing about none of that. Okay. Thank you, user 225. Yeah, my children, they didn't grow up in the same type of situation that I grew up in. And I'm not saying that my situation was all bad either, but they've been blessed, you know, all the way around. I'm always marveled because they're all good, generally good people, you know, because there are children, even if you do your best to raise them and they just turn out to be just horrible people. That happens, you know, but I'm really proud of all of my kids. Yeah. But they don't know nothing about the streets or none of that. They have no clue. I want to keep it that way, you know. How's it going, Andrea? Said for people saying you're doing too much in regards to Umar, let their own family be harassed, doxxed. You can tell someone else how to react. Take several seats. Yeah, you're absolutely right about this. You know, I think that there's different dynamics to this. I think that there are people who, if they receive the type of support that I receive here covering Umar, and if they receive the same type of views and likes and all that stuff, they wouldn't have a problem, you know. I think that that's an aspect of this. The other thing too is a lot of people don't know the history either, you know. So Umar, he has over the years, he's done specific things, including up until last year, where he doxed my wife's email address, and she did receive emails from Umar Johnson followers. See, that's what I mean by that is cult. That's like a cult dynamic we're in. Because Umar, he weaponizes his followers to do certain things, and he'll tell them, it's cryptic, but he'll tell them what he wants them to do. Okay, I don't tell people to do anything. I'm not in control of anyone in the chat room. I don't tell them what to do. I tell people to stay away from Umar's, you know, don't communicate anything, because it's in your best interest anyway. but I don't tell people where to go, what to say, or any of that kind of stuff. And so there's a lot of people, they don't know the history, and they don't know the types of things that Umar Johnson has done and how he's weaponized his followings against his critics, and not just me, with other people too. And if they knew that, then I think maybe it would make a difference for some of the people who have this perspective. I think it's a combination of different things. To be clear too, this work needs to be done. And there are plenty of people who are doing fantastic. They're doing a great job at it. Okay? The work needs to be done. I consider it to be a mission, and it will be completed. Okay, the documentary will be close to the finalization of all of this. I got a lot of work ahead of me though still. So it's not without purpose, and it's clearly it's needed. The support is there, the views are there, you know. And I think that if people had the same level of support and you know, people who are encouragement and all that kind of stuff, I think they probably would take a different view on that. But at the end of the day, what I've learned even more recently is that it's not my job to react to what people think or what they say. It's my job to rise. See, rise above it. And that's what I've consistently done over the years. That makes sense to people? Okay. Anyone can say anything, but it doesn't mean that it's deserving of a response from me. And there's power in silence. I read a book recently. It's called Let Them. It's really good. You know, let people do what they do. It's not about what other people do or what they say or what lies they tell. It's about how you respond. And in many cases, the best response is silence, because there's power in that. An important lesson, real talk. I've been studying this stuff, okay? Some good stuff. So yeah, and then furthermore, you can't tell someone how to react either. You can't, because people, they react how they want to react, and they decide based upon where they're at in life. Either way, you do what you know is the right thing to do. Okay? All right. Thank you so much, Drea. I appreciate the super chat. And Drea's been around a really long time. A very wise woman too, by the way. Please keep it in the documentary. It's too funny. When you bleach soda, you're talking about the scene where Umar is cleaning the bathroom. He ain't even cleaning the bathroom. He's actually cross-contaminating the bathroom, and then he takes it and cross-contaminates. It's so disgusting. It is kind of funny too, but it's really disgusting. And I don't want to, you know, maybe I can put in a disclaimer in there and tell people, if you don't want to see the skip through this timestamp, you know, and give fair warning, maybe I'll do something like that. But it's something else. I ain't never seen nothing like that. Never. Thank you, Bleach Soda. Afropunk says, I'm not saying the young lady is lying, but I don't believe her story. Her talking points are identical to Lene's, and she sounds like a clout chaser. I mean, it's possible. It is possible. That's why I said alleged. And again, I won't be having any more guests on here. The thing is that she does have video footage, and she has shown, she did have an auto recording. But in terms of any levels of intimacy, I don't, you know, I haven't received it. I don't see any receipts for that. So that's why I say alleged. But I see exactly what you're saying here. Absolutely. Thank you, Afropunk. Derek says, if Kid Crochet is a code, FDMG is a mass migrant. Yeah. And truth be told, this happened years ago. The show is really, it's been taken over by the Cookie Crush chat. Like, you guys have more control of the direction of it. That's why I try my best to stay out the chat room. I really do. But you guys see me sometimes, I'm going to get out of here, and then I keep looking. I'm going to get out of here, and I keep looking. So the way that this show has evolved over the years is that the Cookie Crush chat really fuels the show, and then the direction that the show moves in. People listen to the super chat, they pull this video up, and then we pull that video up, then we get into that. We're all over the place. It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. But if Cookie Crush chat was called FDMG is a mass mind control, yeah, global mass mind. Okay. Thank you, Derek. YouTube5 says silence is why we don't address. Okay. All right. Thank you, YouTube5. Black Wolf says we literally roast Umar and you show receipts. That's it. People are mad. The Cookie Crush chat is deep. That's it. We've been hearing that corny ass quote shit forever. We do the do. Yeah, it's not. There's nothing extraordinary. I'll propose that there's nothing extraordinary about those types of comments. That's not it. And I've been here from the beginning, but many of you guys have been here long enough. We've been through all of it, you know. But like I said, I think that people will have to, they try to find whatever they can to discredit and to demean. But it doesn't mean that it's worthy of a response. You know, I stopped watching people's videos years ago. You know, every once in a while, people will send me something, or someone has like Information Man show. He'll have a show, and he'll tell me to check it out. When he asks me to do it, most of the time I check it out. But I don't take time because I don't have time. That's the biggest thing, factor in my life these days is time. But I can tell you that there's nothing going to be extraordinary stated that's non-factual, because we've already been through that years and years ago. Okay, and once you go through it 1, 2, 3, 4 times, you already know what the deal is, and you don't have to trip off of it either. There's something called stoicism. It's really, really huge. Anyway, thank you, Black Wolf, and Black Wolf been around from the beginning, so you know what the deal is. Okay, let's get back here going here, because we're an hour 30 minutes in, and we ain't really got busy yet. Okay, let's go. And thanks everyone inside the Cook Chat. Let me check on this poll too, by the way. So we have over 1,100 votes. What will Umar Johnson do next? 44% said live stream in front of the bandos. 6% said live stream inside of the bandos. 17% said rant against 23-year-old caretaker, and 33% say stay silent for another month. So live stream in front of the bandos and stay silent for another month are at the top right now. Make sure you get your vote in. I'll have this up for, let's say, for maybe another 10 minutes. And there's another poll question I want to bring up here. And I'll post that for you guys in about 10 minutes. And we're at 493 likes. Our goal is 600, so we're close. All right. Simply Complicated says, I'm so sick and tired of Umar pocket watching how we spend our money, yet he's able to gaslight and deflect every time it comes to how he's spending the donors' money. Yeah, and the thing is that Umar, he tends to deflect to this issue of how Black people are spending our money when he's questioned about how he's spending the donors' money. It's almost autonomic. It's like a go-to right away. He's been doing this for years. There's nothing extraordinary about this either. He goes to this right away. I don't even think he thinks about it. It's like someone said, well, you know, people are asking about the donation money and they're criticizing you for the donation money. Well, what about Black people? They're spending all their money on this, and we're $50 trillion people. You know, Umar, $66 trillion people, and we're spending all this money on grits, and we spend most of our money over in any other group than on this, and blah 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 blah. So the pocket watching of Black people is more about Umar deflecting away from how he's spending the donors' money, and it's a go-to every single time. I mean, even when on the Lord Jamar show, he does the same thing because he doesn't want to address this issue of how he's been spending this donor money. See, what Umar should do is if he doesn't want to answer that question, then have transparency. Don't say that you have transparency and then you don't. Have transparency in the first place. Open up the books. Establish an FDMG website, a legitimate one. Not drumarschool.com. A legitimate website where everything is itemized year by year. How much money is coming in, how much of money is going out. Provide links to the PDFs for the tax filings with the IRS. All of that should be there. Every single month, what money went out for what money has come in from donations. And that shuts up everyone if he was on the up and up. But see, he knows how he's been spending the donors' money. Most of it hasn't gone towards these trap banners in Wilmington, Delaware. So when people ask him that, what does he do? He goes to gaslighting, deflecting. He deflects to what? Well, the Black people, they spend their money on this and they spend money on that. But that's not the question. The question is, what's going on with the money, the FDMG donation money? Thank you, Simply Complicated. U25 says, Umar Johnson mad because 225 can make Black queens laugh unlike him. Don't say that about Umar. You're gonna get upset. All right, thanks, you 225. You crazy. Okay, let's get going here. Thank you all again for all the super chats. Shout out to the mods too. Let's go.
Has raised more money than they needed and spent it on other things other than what they needed. So there is some of that. So the criticism would be warranted. But in my case, it's not warranted at all. I have kept.
No. And he's going to say, I've kept my donors up to date, and he hasn't done that.
My donors up to date on what we have been doing consistently since we took the first donation in April.
He lying. April of 2014. No, I have it on record. In 2012, he received a donation. I can pull it up and show it to you guys.
Of 2014, consistently. The problem, Baba David, the contradiction here, the lack of clarity lies.
Good. Yeah, get them new shoes. I bought myself some new shoes about 2 weeks ago. I sure did.
To the fact that we are not accountable to anyone who has not helped us. And that's why you get a lot of this pushback, because you have people who are not donors, who don't care about the school one way or the other, can't stand my guts.
Okay, there is no school, Umar.
For reasons of jealousy and envy.
Okay, he always says jealousy and envy, but this goes back to the dark triad thing. We had talked about that for Darvra, I think something to that effect. Anyway.
Who are questioning what we're doing. We don't owe you no answers. You haven't sent in a single penny to help us. We owe you nothing. This is a private undertaking by proud members of the Black African race.
How can you say it's a private undertaking when you're collecting public donations? Anyway.
From all around the world. And if you're not one of the donors, you don't matter. And the last point, Baba David, is mostly jealousy and envy. And what I mean by that is most of the people complaining the most, Baba, they wish they were in my position.
Yeah, he's been saying this for years, but no one wants to be a deadbeat. You know, no one wants to live inside his mama closet at 51 years old. You know, no one wants to rent cars because, you know, he or she doesn't have a car. No one wants to be on child support for over 20 years and have bench warrants and been arrested for non-payment and had your driver's license revoked. Nobody wants that, Umar. What are you talking about? See, but this is nothing new either. Umar has a history of this, even when he was beefing with Tariq Nasheed, when he was beefing with Boyce Watkins, when he was beefing with Sa Netter. These are all the same talking points that Umar Johnson uses.
To have received this money so they could spend it on things other than what the money was earmarked for.
Okay, he's talking about himself. That's just Umar projecting. Yeah, and no one wants to be homeless either. My goodness gracious, no one wants to be homeless, Umar. So no, that's not an issue of jealousy.
In other words, when they say he's a scammer, it's because, Baba David, deep down inside, if they were in my position, they would be mismanaging the money. And they're...
Isn't that deep? He's the one mismanaging money, but he's saying that if the people who are jealous of him, if they were in his position, they would be mismanaging the money. Umar, you're the one mismanaging money. What are you talking about? He said this though before, that this is not anything new.
Angry because they're not in my position to mismanage the money.
And you know what?
Yeah, that is deep. Yeah, it's Darvo. Yeah. Yeah. What are people jealous of? Living off the people's money? Yeah, exactly, Deshaun. Yeah. How's it going, Contavet? All right, let's keep going. I need to get me some more drink. I'll be right back.
I debate with people often, and they say, well, I don't know what to do. Where this go? I say, well, I've been there. I've been there and seen the school twice. Once when it was in its early development.
Okay, listen, David Barnes, there is no school. Those are abandoned buildings. And when you went to go see them, they were abandoned. And now, if you went up there today, they would still be abandoned. It's not a school. A school, look it up, is a place of learning. I memorized that years ago. A school is a place of learning. Has one child been taught? Has any learning going on? Is there any learning going on? No. So it's not a school. McDonald's is not a school. Why? Because McDonald's is not a place of learning. You can get some food. Okay, anyway, that's a bad. I don't know. I should have brought that one up. Anyway, let's go.
Mental stages, and I saw it again at the street festival, when the building was painted. It looked so good on the inside. It was ready, except for the certificate of occupation and all these other things. I've seen the.
You hear this guy? Let me get my drink. I'll be right back. But we're going to rewind this. I'll be right back.
The hurdles that you had to go through, and I try to tell people that, but some people are just haters. So, Dr. Johnson, what'd you think about that segment?
I thought it was powerful, Baba. And the one thing that it automatically brought up, in my mind with regard to healing is the crisis that we currently have amongst our people in this country and even around the world of suicide. Someone just sent me a clip yesterday of a young man. He was in the military. He was 19 years old. He was, I think he was married to a 24-year-old. They could have just been in a relationship, but nonetheless, he went into the hospital where she had just given birth, I assume, for their child. And he
what in the world is going on? How did they get on to that? Did I miss something? Anyway, let me go back to Father David's comments.
People in this country and even around the world.
Certificate of occupation and all this. I said, well, I've been.
He said certificate of occupation. Yeah, Umar need one of those too. He need to get a job. He's certificate of occupation. Father David. It's certificate of occupancy, Father David. Okay, David Barnes, what are you talking about? Yeah, we're gonna go back and we're gonna go through this, as it were. All right. Here we go.
It's because, Baba David, deep down inside, if they were in my position, they would be mismanaging the money. And they're angry because they're not in my position.
He's been saying this for like a decade.
To mismanage the money.
And you know what? I debate with people often, and they say, well, I don't know what to do. Where it's going. I say, well, I've been there. I've been there and seen the school twice.
There is no school.
Once when it was in its early developmental stages.
And it's still in its
I saw it again at the festival, street festival, when it was the building was.
He said street festival.
Was painted. It looked so good on the inside. It was red.
It looks so good on the inside. That's not true. What are you talking about? Father David, are you lying? I'm just asking. What are you talking about?
Except for the certificate of occupation and all these other things. I've seen the
He said, except for the certificate of occupation and all these other things.
hurdles that you had to go through, and I try to tell people that, but some people are just haters. So, Dr. Johnson, what'd you think about that segment?
Oh, okay. I think I edited out the commercial. That's what it is.
I thought it was powerful, Baba. And the one thing that it automatically brought up, in my mind with regard to healing is sent me a clip and then unaliving themselves. And, traditionally, that went up the pathology of the dominant group in this society. And it itself, you automatically knew what community what they were likely referring to. But now we are catching up. We are picking up the pathology of the dominant group in this society. And it is killing us. So when the sister was speaking of all the things that they do there, I'm just thinking about how can we get so many of our people who are hurting on the inside, to go and just sit, hear the music, participate in the meditation, do the deep breathing because they need it. But here's going to be one of the obstacles, and it's unfortunate. And the obstacle is this. We are living at a time where religious intolerance is at an all-time high in Black America. And what I mean by that, for our Muslim and Christian brothers and sisters who we love, but many of them are so narrow-minded when it comes to their faith that any type of approach to healing
Look who's talking.
that is not specifically outlined in the Bible or the Quran is automatically considered witchcraft. So if they go to a place where we're beating African drums, that we're playing music and we're meditating and we're deep breathing, they're going to call it witchcraft. Anything that falls outside of the purview of their religion.
Deep breathing. What are you talking about? Yeah, TJ. He said powerful. Powerful, Baba David, powerful. He sure did. That's what he's like. I don't care. That's what he's saying.
It's now considered witchcraft.
I'm so glad you said that, but Dr.
Ignorant of it, it's witchcraft. Go ahead, Bob.
Dr. Johnson, I'm glad you said that because last week we had Patrick and Jadu on the phone. He was calling. He had just got back from Ghana, and he was saying because he had gone to Ghana for a funeral, and I asked him about cremation, and he would say that they don't do cremation in Ghana. They say because they think that if you do that, you only do that for people that have practiced witchcraft. And I said, well, that's not necessarily true. I said, because, we've had cremations, long before the Bible was even in existence, and they don't cremate you just because they thought that you were a witch.
Person,
I said,
what?
Because we had people that were practicing the universal medications and means of healing the community. So what do you say about that? Do you think that
What are universal medications?
people that practice healing, traditional healings are witches?
Absolutely not. And from a traditional African perspective, it is true, Baba, that in many societies, you do not cremate because the corpse.
They all over the place. But just to be clear, okay, because I cut out a commercial. There's a point where Father David, I think he goes on a commercial break, and then he has another lady come up. That's why you saw her pop up. And then she starts talking about what her organization is doing. And so Father David asks Umar, well, what do you think about what she was saying? And that's how it kind of evolved or devolved into what they're talking about now. Okay, here we go.
Okay, becomes an eternal shrine to the soul. And so spirits tend to go back and visit their corpse from time to time. That's why we go to the cemetery and give offerings, because every once in a while, that ancestor will come back to get those offerings, not the physical offering, but the ashe, the energy of that offering. So in some societies, it is believed that if you cremate the body, you disturb a shrine to that soul.
Okay,
And
but so I asked myself,
yeah.
I remember one time he said that the woman's cooch is a shrine. I kid you not. Anyway,
what about ashes to ashes and dust to dust? What you know?
Which I agree. I let me stop. I agree with Umar on that one, allegedly, as it were.
And if your body lays in the casket, isn't it going to eventually turn to dust?
Yes, it will. But when you cremate, you don't just cremate the flesh, you cremate the skeleton. Remember, when we say egun, like in Ifa, Yoruba, egun literally means bone. So the word for ancestor literally means bone.
Okay.
And when you get cremated, you're not only cremating the flesh, Baba, you're cremating the bone.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that is the shrine to that ancestor. So in a lot of societies, you don't cremate the bone, because the bone is the physical evidence that this person once walked the earth.
Okay, and as I said earlier, if you listen long enough, you're going to learn something when you listen to Dr. Umar Johnson. So listen, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to continue in the conversation with Dr. Umar Abdullah Johnson here on New Worldview.
Courtney, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Umar's a funeral director. Somebody said the bone. The bone. This chat room is crazy. Yeah, 100% real bad. This comes from a man who wants a rock on top of him. That's yeah. Hey, listen. I wouldn't say worshiper, but I have respect. Okay. I have respect, family. As we should, as all of us men, we should, right? All right. Okay. Mr. I don't give a shizzle says Umar been cremating that dough. You're right. Umar been cremating that donation money since the beginning. That make him a witch doctor too. He's a money witch doctor. Oh my God. That poor money. He done burnt up that money so quick. That money ain't got no more ashe. Damn. That poor money. There's no proof that ever existed. All right. The bones is gone. The money bones. All right. That's funny. All right, that's hilarious. Thanks. Thanks, bitch. I don't give a shizzle. Wow. That's hilarious. Derek says, shout out to the shrines. Yeah, but much respect. Thanks, Derek. Thanks, Derek. Who are always thinking about the bone. That's his problem. Yeah, that is his problem. That's one of the problems, one of the main problems. Okay. Oh, man. Woo. TJ says, what are these fake Umar's he's an anthropologist now. We got to go to the Cretaceous era to see if we can find these bones, family. All right, thanks, TJ. Woo. Certificate of oxidation, the bandos, and obscuration, being obscure about the money and details. Yeah. Umar's waiting on getting that certificate of obscuration. Obscuration. Yeah, being obscure about the money and the details. Umar, we need that certificate, okay? We don't want to hear about all this other stuff. Man, boy, thanks, the real estate barber. Man, well, this terrible crazy. Yeah, that money being cremated. Certification of emancipation. All right, let me get out this chat room. You need a certificate of occupation. Okay. All right, let me get up out of here. Okay, here we go.
Sister Lele with a charity challenge edition
everybody.
of New Worldview. We'll be right back.
Peace.
On the phone line with us is Dr. Umar Johnson, certified child psychologist and one of the most sought.
Dr. Umar want a voodoo freak off. No diddy. All right. Thanks.
Speakers internationally. So, Dr. Johnson, before we go further, I wanted to ask you a question about Jasmine Crockett lost the primary election in the runoff election in Texas. And I was saying, some people probably say, well, I'm not voting for her because she's too boisterous. And I said, what does it matter that she's boisterous so that she can produce results in resisting the system? What do you think about Jasmine Crockett?
Yes, indeed. Well, first of all, I support black women in general. I like to give them a little bit of leeway, Baba, because many of them are out front fighting when the men should be. And many of our sisters have been a little bit more politically unapologetic and progressive than we have. So when the sisters are out front, I try not to judge them to the same standard as I judge the brothers when it comes to confronting the system of white supremacy. So I support and I love this sister. Now, with that being said, one of the concerns that some people had about Sister Crockett and many members of the Congressional Black Caucus, which is basically all of our black U.S. reps, and you have 3 senators in there, Tim Scott, Cory Booker, and the good pastor from Atlanta, Georgia. The problem with the Congressional Black Caucus, Baba, which includes Representative Crockett, unfortunately, from what I'm understanding, she will no longer be a congresswoman because she had to vacate. She could not rerun for her seat in order to run for the Senate seat. That's what I'm being told. We need to verify.
He's about to go. He's going to say something negative about her.
So it looks like she will no longer be congresswoman as a result of that loss because she couldn't run for her seat again, unfortunately. Now, the problem with Congressional Black Caucus, as I was going to say, Baba, my research has revealed that at least 50% of the members of the Congressional Black Caucus are, in fact, funded by APIC. And you know what APIC is? That's the American Israeli Public Affairs Committee that the Zionists use to control politicians. Half of the Congressional Black Caucus is funded by APIC. Allegedly, Sister Crockett has also taken money from APIC. So that is a question that needs to be explored. However, to your question,
he's saying it's a question that should be explored, and allegedly. Anyway, let's keep
question. It is a wake-up call. Her loss is a wake-up call to black politicians all over the country who constantly push this black and brown multicultural narrative. Sister Crockett was one of the main representatives who was standing up and fighting for the rights of the migrant and the immigrant and the undocumented people who were in this country. She was fighting loud and hard for them with other members of the Congressional Black Caucus. But when she needed them to show up and show out and vote for her the other day, they voted for the white man instead of the black woman. So this is a wake-up call to black politicians. Fighting for brown people does not always translate to victory on Election Day. And I really think that our elected officials need to stop fighting for brown people and let them fight for themselves. Not because we don't care about them, not because we don't want the best for any group within the human family, but you would be better off getting more of your people out to vote, as opposed to thinking that standing up and fighting for brown people is going to actually benefit your campaign. They completely turned her back on her on Election Day.
I was amazed. I said, I would have thought that even a lot of Caucasian people would have voted for her against somebody because she was a fighter. You want somebody that's going to fight for you in the trenches. Because it truly amazed me how even anybody can vote for this corrupt system that is in place right now. They would rather have these con artists, liars, and killers running this country than an educated.
What? I'll let it go. There we go.
Educated a black person with integrity. I just don't understand it.
And here's the thing, Baba. We got to get over that black-brown thing. We've never had a black-brown alliance in this country. We've never had it, ever.
Mm-hmm.
When the Latinos first came to this country, they used to identify as white.
Yeah.
And they identified as white. They'll be just as dark as you and I, Baba. And they identified
I'm sorry.
as white.
My thing froze
and
again,
then the
y'all.
white man got sick and tired of it, so he created the word Hispanic in the 1970s census.
I'll be right back.
The word is.
Okay, I'm back. Let me know if you guys can hear and see me. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that today. Let me get back to this video. Here we go.
Have been a little bit more politically representative. Who was
somebody because she was a fighter. You want somebody.
I consider them members of the family. We're speaking about those anti-African Latinos, and we have a bad habit, Baba. And this is not just for Latinos. They're not black.
Yep.
Why do you have to clarify what kind of America? They did not want to be associated with black people, so they identified as black. And as a result of U.S. government creation, and here's the thing, Baba. We got to get over that black-brown thing. We've never had a black-brown alliance in this country. We've never had it, ever.
Mm-hmm.
When the Latinos first came to this country, they used to identify as white.
Yeah.
And they identified as white. They'll be just as dark as you and I, Baba. And they identify as white.
Okay, let's be clear about something. It's not that all Latinos identified or even identify as white. And furthermore, historically speaking, just because you want to identify as being white doesn't mean that the dominant culture recognized you as being white. As an example, Italians, they weren't classified as white back in the day. Jewish people, they weren't classified as being white. But see how Umar is framing this as if all Latinos? It's ridiculous.
And then the white man got sick and tired of it, and so he created the word Hispanic in the 1970s census. The word Hispanic is a U.S. government creation because too many black people who spoke Spanish from Cuba and Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic and other places across the Caribbean and Central South America, they did not want to be associated with black people, so they identified as black. And as a result of that, it forced the government to give them their own title, which was Hispanic.
By the way, Umar Johnson's great-grandfather classified himself as white Cuban.
And that's why when you look on the census, it says you have to clarify if you're Hispanic black or Hispanic not black.
Yep.
Why do you have to clarify what kind of Hispanic you are? Because the term was only created to stop Latinos from identifying as white. They have always been down with white people, always. They have never aligned themselves with us. And, we have a bad habit, Baba, and this is not just for Latinos. In respect to the Latino community, especially Latino Africans, because there are a lot of Latinos who do embrace their African roots. I know because they support me, to communicate with me, so I consider them members of the family. We're speaking about those anti-African Latinos, and we do have a lot of them in Philadelphia. Let's just be honest about it.
Here you go.
But the thing about it, Baba, is this brings up, the whole conversation on why black people are so insecure about standing for themselves. And we know why it is. We know because historically America has always made it clear to the world and to us that they don't care about us. And every group that comes to this country in order to earn favor and curry favor with the American white power structure, they too have to endorse those same racist, dismissive views of black people. And so we know we're on our own, Baba, but we don't like to admit it. We're very anxious and ambivalent and neurotic about knowing we don't have any allies. And so what
what is he talking about?
we do, whenever we go public, that neurosis kicks in, Baba. That neurosis kicks in at the microphone, and we start talking about black and brown, black and brown.
I have videos of talking where Umar's talking about black and brown when he was in San Diego, because there's a large Mexican population down there. One time, I remember one time he was doing this talk, and there was a white woman, and she had a black husband, and they had it was a daughter that was what Umar would call mixed. And you should see how Umar framed his talk to include this woman. So he picks and chooses. One of Umar Johnson's early talks, and I have the flyer, it was on diversity. It was for this diversity conference, the importance of diversity. Y'all know that? Anyone know that? Hit the one. I have the flyer. He picks and chooses. User 225 says, so Umar Johnson thinks people only see race, black versus white. It's how he sees the world. He can't comprehend that maybe people just like Theological more liked Theological more than Crockett. Yeah, I mean, I'm not into politics, but Umar, whatever he can do to frame the discussion around black versus white or white versus black, he'll do that. But it's not even just that. He'll frame anything in order to make black people in a subservient position wherein they're always being victimized by other groups of people. When it's to his benefit, he'll say that. He'll spin a narrative around that. See, one of the fascinating things, I've said this many years ago, is about the black conscious space, is that a lot of the rhetoric that I've seen, especially for the internet-based people who are in this black conscious space, it's always about black victimhood. So how can we speak to this notion of black power when everything is about black victimhood? Now everyone else is doing everything to black people. Very little accountability for black people in terms of what black people are doing, or even suggestions on what black people can do to uplift themselves. It's always that we're always defeated. We are always on the bottom. We're always the minority. We're always, being abused. We're always the perpetual victim. And so with this Crockett situation, again, I don't follow politics. What Umar is spinning here, and I don't know if this is what you're saying is factual or not. I don't know. I didn't look into it. But the point is that I wouldn't be surprised if Umar is simply using this to spin the narrative of black disempowerment and then create divisions between black people and other groups of people. Historically speaking, this is what Umar Johnson has done. Yeah. Thank you for the super chat. How's it going, Giannis? Giannis says, isn't his black daughter, or you're saying wasn't his black daughter considering unaliving herself at one time? Yes, and I've talked about that. I tend not to talk about his daughter because she's younger. Again, James sent me some information today. I won't be addressing that because I'm a father, so I look at them. They're young. Even the young lady that came out to say alleged that Umar, she was dealing with Umar on an intimate level. It's not something that I'll be talking much about, simply because they're young and. As a father, that's just how I am. But the point is that one of the reasons why she got Umar's daughter got that way was because Umar weaponized his followers against his own daughter, and then they started to attack his daughter online, and then it had an impact on her mental health to such a degree to what you're speaking of took place. See, that's a cult. See, what Umar does, he weaponizes his followers. He tells them what to do. And in many cases, it's crypted. He'll tell people, he'll post, like last year, he posted my wife's, a picture of my wife, and then told his follower, and then posted my wife's email address. And so people started emailing my wife, meaning Umar Johnson's cult members. Okay, we don't do that over here. I always tell people, no, don't engage. Don't do it. And people, you do whatever you want to. Okay, but whatever you do, that's on you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'll tell you what not to do. Okay. And that is, don't go harassing Umar or anybody. You know, that's what I told people this historically speaking. But Umar, he's the opposite. He specifically targets people and he tries to weaponize his followers against the people. And he did that against his own daughter. That speaks to his character as a man and as a father too, for that matter. Horrible. Thank you, Giannis. Nimi says, time for Baba to put them teeth in a jar that Sundowner. I didn't know about what that was until last year. Sundowner is kicking in. Time to go night. See, the thing about my father David is that he, in my opinion, he knows that Umar is on some bullshit. He knows that. He knows that Umar Johnson is a scammer. That he knows that Umar Johnson is a deadbeat. Because when he's talking, he's sometimes, and not all the time, he's talking about videos that I've done on Umar. And you can tell because because we've been covering Father David for years now. You can tell we'll do a live stream and then Umar will be on like 2 days later, and then Father David will bring up stuff that we talked about during the live stream. So he watches these videos. And at his age, he has enough wisdom to know what the deal is, but he pretends. He's a pretender. He's pretending as if Umar's on the up and up, but that's so he can ingratiate himself to Umar, so that Umar continues to come back on his platform. That's all this is, nothing more. But it's disingenuous, but also shows a lack of character, you know. And then all of this black power talk. Well, when are you people in? I'm going to say it. When are you people who are in the black conscious space? When are you going to step to the plate and call Umar out like he needs to be called out? See, I'm not even part of the black conscious space. Why should people like me, and there's other people, they do fantastic work. Why do we have to do that? No, y'all should be doing it, but you platform him. You platform Umar. You give him your platform. You bring him on. You know that he's on some bullshit, but you do it anyway because it's about clicks and views. That's it. It shows a lack of integrity, though, too. And Father David is too old for that. Real talk. He's supposed to be an elder. Thank you, Nimi. What kind of cult leader says these folks? Yeah, I've told people that for years. You know, like I said, really, this show goes on based upon how y'all want it to go. I gave up on trying to control because back in the day, I used to have a presentation. I would have a PowerPoint presentation, and I would just stick to that. It was boring though, you know, but it was just point by point by point. Some of y'all was around back then. We didn't have super chats or anything because they didn't have that on YouTube back then. I wasn't even monetized. But at a certain point, stuff just took off, and there were certain people, they would take over the show. Big Man was an example. He used to take the show over. I used to get upset about it at first, you know, like I would really, you know, but then I recognized, yeah, but the engagement started to pick up, you know, in the chat room, there'd be all these people talking back and forth, and then people laughing and joking, and then people bringing up other stuff unrelated, you know, I just got married last week, or I just got this certification, or I just got this degree, or I just had a baby, and everyone gets all excited. It was organic. So I learned years ago that that's what this is about. It's not about me, for sure. It's not about trying to present myself as, you know, I'm some sort of a leader, and you know, that's not the case at all. The Cookie Crush chat dictates how these shows go, you know. And then the other thing, there's 3 other things that over the years is I got to stay humble and always have the spirit of appreciation. And then always remember that the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh. And that's the biggest one, because at any given time, especially at my age, you know, it could be times. So you got to be humble. And then whatever blessings you receive, you have to be thankful for it, and then be appreciative of it and express that appreciation to the people who bless you. Stay humble, you know. So anyway, what tends to happen is that people, they take their shots because whatever, and there's different reasons why. But they'll reach for anything, you know. And when you have to reach for anything, you really should question yourself. Like, why do I have to reach to those types of extremes and create false narratives to disparage people? I don't do that, you know. But again, I'm not responsible for what other people do. I am responsible for how I rise. And what I mean by that is it's about growth, and it's about continuing to progress, regardless of what other people have to say. Okay? That's a big lesson, you know, for all of us. Thank you, lady, for the super chat. I appreciate you. And thanks everyone else too for tuning on in as well. We're going to go for another 15 minutes. Okay. I'm not going to live stream tomorrow because it's my wife and I, we'll be celebrating our 25-year anniversary of meeting. But I'm gonna plan on being here on Wednesday, and then I'm gonna do my best to have the next segment of the documentary available on Thursday. If I don't have it on Thursday, someday this week, so it could be Friday, it could be Saturday, we'll get together for members only, and we'll get into the next segment. Okay, because I got to get back. I haven't worked on it in a couple of days. I got to get back into it to see exactly where I'm at, to give so I have an idea of how much more time I need to put into this next segment. It's a rough draft, but I'm meticulous even with the rough drafts. We still got 1,200 people in the building. Let me check in here on this poll right quick. Okay, great. We had 1,299 votes. Let's get one more to get to 1,300. What will Umar Johnson do next? 43%. Okay, we just got it. Thank you guys so much. 1,300, over 1,300 votes. What will Umar Johnson do next? Live stream in front of the bandos. 43% say live stream in front of the bandos. 7% said live stream inside of the bandos. Okay, and yeah, that's less likely because if he goes in there and he live streams, people won't see the renovations are complete. Maybe he'll show 3 rooms or 4 rooms this time. Okay. 70% said rant against a 23-year-old caretaker. I don't think he's going to mention that at all. 33% said stay silent for another month. That's likely as well. Okay. So thank you everyone who voted on that. I want to set up one other poll though before we wind this show down, if you guys don't mind. We're at 575 likes. Our goal is 600, so we need 25 more to get to 600. Okay, let's make it happen. Let me close out that poll. All right, and then I want to put another poll in here. And the question is, I wrote it down. I can't remember who proposed this, but it was a good one. Is Umar using his mother to what's the word? Oh yeah, lure women in. Okay, get your vote in on this one. Yeah, this is a great one. Okay, the poll is up. Okay, and I'll check back on that poll in just a little bit. Also, thanks to the mods for handling this. Everyone else inside the cookie, thank you guys for being here. Okay, hope you're enjoying the show. Okay, we won't be live streaming tomorrow, but I plan on live streaming on Wednesday. All right, let's get back to it. Here we go.
Never hear brown people talk about black people.
Wow, that seems to be the point. When for the longest we've been saying, should not be about black and brown and yellow. It should be about the rich and the poor and the people, the grassroots, and because we have to understand that they're not just against black people, not just against brown people, they're against all of us poor folks.
But the thing is, everybody is loyal to themselves. Nobody has a multicultural identity except blacks, and that's because we don't like ourselves. Mm-hmm. We don't like ourselves, so we're always looking for a way to blend in.
Let's be clear about something. Black people, we're multicultural. Hit the one. So that's the one thing about Umar is he speaks in absolute terms. That's the sign of a cult. See, and he doesn't like to be challenged. He doesn't like to be corrected either. People correct me all the time. And I listen, and you guys see how I am. I'm like, oh, thanks for the correction. Umar be like, what the fuck? You know what? I got 600 degrees. Anyway, yeah. Black people, we are, yeah, you're right. It's the narcissism. Yeah, you think he right about everything, And I've been wrong about stuff. That's okay. That's life. And anytime a person could correct me on my research, I take an ego hit. I ain't gonna lie about it because I'm meticulous with it. But it doesn't mean that I have everything. And again, there's times I thought this started in 2014, but I was wrong about that. Kept researching, and I found every seed, or someone sent to me. I can't remember. I can't remember. 2010. Then I realized it was in 2010. He had been at it at 2010. Made the prom schools on September 11, 2013. But then further research, I found a video more recently where he states that he conceptualized FDMG in 2005, but it was before that, so that could be 2004. So he's been at this for a very long time. So I don't mind being corrected, especially dealing with the research, and when people correct me on different things, it's okay. I appreciate it because I don't want to be wrong and I don't want to misrepresent facts. Earlier, James corrected me, right? I appreciate it, but again, you have to be humble in order to do that. But Umar, he lacks humility. You know, again, it's part of it is the narcissism too. But anyway, Black people, we are a multicultural people. Let's be clear about that. It's not like we have one culture and everyone abides to that culture. I think Umar misrepresents this truth. And part of the reason why he does that because he wants to simplify. It's easier to control people if you simplify things. It's us against them. It's, you know, and I don't even play that game, you know. See, the way I look at it is I come on here for y'all. If y'all didn't show up, I wouldn't be up on here. Real talk. Umar oversimplifies things like culture and Black culture or African culture. You guys know how huge Africa is? I'm not talking about the maps that we was raised on when we was kids. That's what I'm talking about. What's the map called? Is it the Mercator? There's different ones. I think that's the one. No, that's not the one. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. That's from the 16th century. But there's other maps that'll give you a better idea of how huge Africa is. You can fit the United States in Africa easily. Let's see. What countries can you fit in Africa? Okay. You can fit the United States, China, India, Eastern Europe, Germany, France, Spain, Portugal, the Netherlands, Belgium, Switzerland, Italy, Great Britain, and Japan. But somehow there's one African culture. Well, in African culture, cut it out. Black people, we are not one culture, okay? Real talk. Some Black people, the culture is, you know, it's about family and it's about, you know, establishing loving relationships and raising your kids together and doing the best that you can, right? Although there's some Black people in the culture, the cultural norm is baby mamas. You got 4 or 5 baby mama. You got 10 baby mama, 8 kids. I don't even know how you do that, but anyway, you get that, you're gonna have 10 baby mama and 8 kids. And it's culturally acceptable. In some case, smoking crack. Some smoking crack is culturally. I don't want to go there, but it's true. You know, smoking crack. Drinking the Alizé, the 40 ounces, the malt liquor, and that's part of the culture, and it's culturally acceptable. But it's not all one thing, and we're not a monolith. But Umar presents it as such. You know what I'm saying? Y'all crack is whack. All right. I just want to tell that to everybody. if you guys don't work, if nothing else, just I want you to walk away from this show understanding that crack is whack. Okay. All right. Okay, we gotta wind this down, y'all. Black Moose says we about to start a Cookie Crush chat raid on channels. No, don't do that. Lenon sent us a channel. No, don't even play. They so damn goofy up on YouTube. People toss code around like dorks. Yeah, again, I don't recommend anybody do anything like that. But it's like people who they'll throw stuff around like narcissists, and everybody's a narcissist that they don't like. That's not the case. Umar does present narcissistic personality traits. I've studied this guy for years. In the documentary, I give some of the personality, narcissistic personality traits, and I show those. And I have it's from a EDU site. Okay, so when you're doing research, there's different tiers of legitimacy, as it were, or credibility, as it were. So Umar, he fits the bill. Okay, and I'm not no expert or anything like that, but I've studied this guy long enough to know what's going on there. But I think people tend to throw terms around, but it's more like reaching because they have issues with the person, or they have issues with, I guess, the Cookie Crush chat or whatever. And again, people can say whatever it is that they want to say, but the truth is the truth. And you can tell a lie over and over again. It doesn't mean that it's true. Now, people may believe it, yes, but like I said, I'm not responsible for what other people say. I'm not even responsible for insults that people make towards me or towards Cookie Crush Chat, for that matter. I'm not even responsible for what you guys do. You guys are your own people. Okay, you're your own man, your own woman. The only thing I'm responsible for is how I choose to respond. And silence is power. Yeah. Anyway, thanks, Black Wolf. You start chanting, Lenon, ooga, booga, booga, booga. You got, y'all going, what are the things called? You know, they had the burning stick things. Lenon, ooga, booga, ooga. All right, thanks, Black Wolf. What are the things called? You know the burning sticks they have? Them old racist movies from back in the day. I can't remember what it was called. All right. Let's wind this down. Because yeah, that's what it is. Tiki torches. Y'all gonna have on tiki torches and bamboos? I don't know. Anyway, powerful. Yeah. I don't know why I couldn't think of that, Amir. I was still thinking in my head because I remember when I was in I was in junior high school. We went on a tour at my school. Hey, David, I hope you're doing all right. We went on tour of the school orchestra. I was the youngest person in that orchestra too, because it was performing arts school. We went on tour to Hawaii, and my teacher, he worked with my mom to make sure I think he even put some money down, because I mean that guy, he was like a father figure. He went way out of his way to help me out. He saved my life, real talk. When we went out there, they took us to a luau one night, and they had, the tiki, the torches things and all that stuff, and it was doing the hula dance and all that stuff. I remember when I was in the 9th grade, I said, man, one of these days I'm gonna marry a woman, a Hawaiian woman. Oh man, that's what I said. That was when I was in the 9th grade, family. 9th grade. And y'all want to take a guess where my wife was born? Yeah, everyone said congratulations and everything. Y'all want to know where my wife was born, family? She was born in Hawaii. Now that's not proof, but that's some damn good evidence. Somebody said Wakanda. Y'all tripping. Yeah, so said Jamaica. No, she lived out there for a while, but she wasn't born out there. China, yeah, she was. Somebody said Kentucky. Yeah, she was born in Hawaii. Yep. Grenada. Hey, y'all just throwing anything out there. I don't know. Did I thrust? I don't think I did. If I did, I apologize. Somebody said Japan? Nah, bro. Narnia. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. Somebody said Switzerland. Coruscant, yeah. Yeah, you know, Hawaiian Africans. y'all just throwing anything in there. Chinatown. He said where's Chinatown? They got Chinatowns all over the place. What? Camino, yeah, Camino. I did have a crush on one of them Camino women. Anyway, somebody said she was born in Westeros. Now I sound like now I sound like Umar. You was born in Westeros, family. All right. Yeah. She was hiding out in that Dagobah system. All right. Down by the river in a little tent. What you doing? You making a sandwich? All right. Yeah, my youngest son, he got his hair braided. Yeah, all my sons, they got long braids and stuff. I thought y'all better enjoy it while you can. All right. Okay, let's wind this down now, y'all. We're gonna go for 5 more minutes. Well, y'all the best. Thanks, Black Wolf again. Crack is whack, but it's back. No. Crack is whack, but it's back. Hit the paper. All right, Derek. Well, that's hilarious. If nothing else, just know that crack is whack. Alexa, no lie. I have thrown the cookies up in a couple of chats. Hit the one. All right. I wouldn't advise it, but thanks, lady. But we have a good time too. It's fun. I really enjoy our time. We get together, boys. It's hilarious. Thank you, lady. And then Queendom Moore says, "Happy 25th anniversary to you and wifey. Hope you have a great celebration." Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we'll be celebrating tomorrow. Yeah, thank you for being a member for 4 months. Okay, all right, everyone. Let's wind this down. We'll go for 5 more minutes. Here we go.
With another group because we think it makes us look better. We never speak for ourselves, Papa. Think about it. When the last time you saw a politician push a campaign that was all about black people first? Never. It's always black and gay. It's always black and brown. It's always black and immigrants. It's always black and women. Why is it never just black? And I'm going to say this to the Democrats.
Black and women? What are you talking about?
If the Democrats want to recapture the White House, if the Democrats want to recapture Congress and they want that black vote, especially the blacks, you better start focusing on black people alone. Stop tying us to all these other groups who believe in things that we don't like. If you notice, Baba, they always tie us to another group. It's never just about the black agenda when you go to Washington, D.C. It's always black people and gays. Who decided that we was tied to the gay agenda? Who made that decision? Who made the decision that we was tied to immigrants? Who made the decision that we was tied to the Latinos? People keep trying to anchor us into other people's agendas, and black people are tired of it. That's why Kamala Harris didn't get the vote. Then,
yeah, you're right, TJ. He rocking back and forth. Baba looks sleepy and confused. No, you can turn that light on, buddy. Yeah, turn that light on. Yeah, you're right, TJ. Yeah, you can tell. He's like, what is Umar even talking about? Does Umar Johnson not know that non-black voters exist? Listen, I don't. Again, Umar, he talks, and it's always to divide. It's never to combine or to bring people together. He's divisive. He's extremely divisive. So his rhetoric, when he talks, everything has to be framed within the scope of, black people are oppressed, black people are, at the bottom of the barrel, perpetual victims. And then when he talks about black people in terms of issues like character, he's always demeaning and disrespecting black people. So that's kind of like his lens to which he sees everything, or at least how he kind of talks, So in terms of the whole voting thing, I don't get it. I don't get where Umar is coming from on this. It's just he's just running off the dome, as it were. But that's Umar. Thank you, user 225. Kiara says it's always black and yellow. Pittsburgh. Okay. Shout out to Pittsburgh. Again, Umar pretends as if black people are a monolith and you can just reduce black people down to some basic things, basics in culture, basics in terms of politics, even music, basics in music. It's just when he talks about black people, it's always like the worst case scenario, but it always spews this notion of black victimhood. And then he divides. It's as if, okay, well, do other groups of people experience racism? Do other groups of people experience discrimination? No, it's all black people. Black people are the only ones who are experiencing levels of oppression, so forth and so on. Well, again, that's Umar's rhetoric. But again, I can pull up receipts where he's actually talking about black and brown people and need for unity. I'm paraphrasing, but those were some of his talking points. You don't hear him talk like that very often, but in older Umar Johnson videos, he would talk like that. In particular, when he had an audience that was comprised of, let's say, Latino people, he would do that. But again, he spins his narrative in order to fit the circumstances like a comedian. He's part Cuban, so I don't know what he's tripping off in the first place. He's part white Cuban. Thanks, Kiara. Asmara says, happy 25th anniversary to you and your wife. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think that restaurant, Asmara, no, that was, let me see. I thought that restaurant was called Asmara. That might have been in San Diego. It was another one. I thought that might have been what that was. No, this is it right here. Yeah. No, that's not it. Is this in Oakland? No, that is in Oakland. Yeah, there was an Ethiopian restaurant in Oakland. I don't know if this is the one we went to though. It looked like it. Yeah, I don't know, but these pictures are newer pictures. We got to go back to like 2001, so I can't call it. Anyway, thank you for those kind words. Yeah, we plan on going to go get Ethiopian food tomorrow. Thank you for the super chat as well, and thanks everyone for all the kind words. I appreciate it. Yeah, and then Dreezy says California Love. Yeah, we ain't played that in a long time. Yeah, I would have to find it though. We haven't played that one in a long time. Yeah, I'm looking at this video. I'm all sweaty. I look sweaty to people. Next time I'll bring a rag. Hope I don't look all. That's because I was laughing. You guys had me cracking up. Y'all look all sweaty. It is what it is. Okay, that's y'all's fault. I'll blame it on y'all. Thank you, Dreezy Drummer. And then YouTube Five says happy 25th. Play the Stevie extra loud tomorrow night. Yeah, we probably put on some Stevie. I tend to put on Stevie every day, at least one song. Thank you, Javon. I had on Sade because I was working on my taxes, so I had to put something nice on. Okay, so I had Sade on last night. Thanks, User 225. Yeah, I had a question on Sade too back in the day, but who didn't? Okay, Coco also says cookies forever, zebra cakes never. Okay, all right. Thank you, Coco. Hope you're doing all right too. I appreciate you, bro. All right, let's wrap this up, y'all. We'll go for 3 more minutes on this video. The poll question is Umar using his mother to lure women in? 90% said yes, 10% said no. So overwhelmingly, okay. So I'm going to close out that poll. Let me see where we at with the likes. I think we got to our goal of 600. Let me see here. Refreshing now, and then we'll be up. Yeah, 646. We might get to 700. We still got 1,100 people in the building. Anyway, I'm not going to be greedy. I'm appreciative. Thank you guys so much. Okay, let's finish this up. Here we go.
And that's why Kamala Harris won't get the vote again in 2028 if she don't come up with a black agenda.
Wow, that's interesting because, and as you mentioned, when they come up with these multicultural agendas, but it does never include black people. They want us to join in, but it's never our issues, our concerns, anything that's going to help us grow.
But we go for it because of this religious multiculturalism that the black pastorate has been pushing for the last 57 years since Dr. King was assassinated. I'm so disappointed in the black church, Baba. If you go back to the original birth of black Christian liberation theology, it was the fathers of Pan Africanism who gave birth to that. Mm-hmm. That was Bishop Henry McNeil Turner of the AME Church, who said God was black. That was Henry Highland Garnett, who created the first Pan Africanist movement in
You love saying Henry Harlan Garnett.
History, who was a pastor.
What's up, Damo?
That was Alexander Crummell, one of the first black Episcopalian pastors and the father of black social work, a Pan-Africanist. So the Pan-Africanists, many of them were pastors of the church, Baba, but they preached a black liberation theology that was about black people first. They never tried to tie us in with other people's agendas. And the only reason why they do that, Baba, anyway, the only reason why they want to tie us in is to make us think they're talking about us when they're really talking about everybody but us.
Yeah,
it is a psychological strategy to make you think, Baba, you're included. When we say black and gay, you're included black people, but you're really not. We're just going to focus on the gay people, but we're just doing this because they know it makes you feel better to be included with other people because you don't have the self-esteem to stand on your own.
Yeah, like Dr. Jeremiah Wright, liberation theology. He was
and
good
of course,
at that.
You got to bring up the Church of the Black Messiah, Baba. Black Christian nationalism.
Mm-hmm.
What's the brother's name? The ancestor, very fair-skinned brother.
Fair-skinned.
Barashango.
What was his name? No, before Barashango. Yes, rest in peace to Barashango. I was at his funeral when he passed on.
Mm-hmm.
But the brother who started the Shrine of the Black Madonna.
Yeah, why would he say fair-skinned though? Well,
Jeremiah Wright, liberation theology.
When we say Black Madonna, the shrine, Baba Barashango was the Church of the Black Messiah. We're talking about the Shrine of the Black Messiah. They have the shrine in Detroit, Houston, and Atlanta. And they would be the Christian version of Garveyism. You know what I mean? Because they preach, a form of African fundamentalism and black nationalism, but it's tied to a black Christian Messiah as opposed to a white Christian Messiah. And the brother who founded that,
and Umar claims to be the Black Messiah.
Albert Cleage. You ever heard that name? He's the father of black Christian nationalism. If you go on YouTube and type him in, he was on a lot of panels with a lot of the other prominent leaders in the 70s. Stokely Carmichael, he was up there with Stokely, with Fannie Lou Hamer. He started the Shrine of the Black Madonna in Detroit. Shrine of the Black Madonna in Detroit. And they have 3 locations. And I know them very well because they always allow me to come and speak when I travel. But people need to read him because his books on black Christian nationalism, he's almost like the opposite of Elijah Muhammad, if you would. Or would you say the counterbalance, where Elijah Muhammad was Islamic black Islamic nationalism. He was black Christian nationalism. And I think a lot of our Christian brothers and sisters would do well to study his work because he was black first. He was about the Bible, but he was black first. All of our pastors were black first back then, Baba. But in this post-Dr. King era, that we have gotten so insecure about standing on our own square that we only want to stand when we stand there with other people.
Before I go any further, I mentioned earlier in the program, at the beginning of the program, and I just want to let you know, in case you did not know, that the president of Ghana is going to be here in Philadelphia at the end of this month.
Okay, we'll end it right there. I just want to go back to what Umar was saying, though.
That the black pastorate has been pushing for those. People keep trying to anchor us into.
When they come up with these but it's never our issues, our concerns, anything that's going to help us grow.
But we go for it because of this religious multiculturalism that the black pastorate has been pushing for the last 57 years since Dr. King was assassinated. I'm so disappointed in the black church, Baba. If you go back to the original birth of black Christian liberation theology, it was the fathers of Pan Africanism who gave birth to that. That was Bishop Henry McNeil Turner of the AME Church, who said God was black. That was Henry Highland Garnett, who created the first Pan Africanist movement in history, who was a pastor. That was Alexander Crummell, one of the first black Episcopalian pastors, and the father of black social work, a Pan Africanist. So the Pan Africanists, many of them were pastors of the church, Baba, but they preached a black liberation theology that was about black people first. They never tried to tie us in with other people's agendas. And the only reason why they do that, Baba, anyway, the only reason why they want to tie us in is to make us think they're talking about us when they're really talking about everybody but us.
Yeah,
it is a psychological strategy to make you think, Baba, you're included. When we say black and gay, you're included black people, but you're really not. We're just going to focus on the gay people, but we're just doing this because they know it makes you feel better to be included with other people because you don't have the self-esteem to stand on your own.
Yeah, like Dr. Jeremiah Wright, liberation theology. He was good at that.
You got to bring up the Church of the Black Messiah, Baba.
Right here.
Black Christian nationalism. What's the brother's name? The ancestor, very fair-skinned brother. with light eyes.
Yeah.
Fair skin with light eyes. Man.
Embarrassing.
What was his name? No, before Barashan go, yes, rest in peace to Barashan go.
All right, yeah. I just wanted to say, I want to play that again because Umar, he has a history of this. It's color. It's an aspect of colorism. It's a deep-seated issue with Umar and has been since he was a child. Okay, thank you guys again for tuning on. We'll be back on Wednesday. Okay, tomorrow, 25-year anniversary of me and my wife meeting. So I won't be live streaming tomorrow, but we'll be back on Wednesday. We'll pick up and finish up with this video. And then someday this week, it could be Thursday, Friday, or even Saturday for that matter, I will get together with members only to premiere the next segment of the documentary. TJ says Baba is in another world right now. He's on that. Yeah, because Umar's just run off the mouth. I don't even understand why they're having this conversation. It's going to come up, though, where Father David brings up FDMG. And that's the main part. We'll get to that on Wednesday. Thank you, TJ, for the super chat. Kiara says, I suddenly want a rock on top of me. Okay, all right. Well, you know, let's move on. Thanks, Kiara. Estevar says, Umar Johnson posted on his gram an alleged text saying, I want your baby too, King, that narcissism, and also that he'll be on the Breakfast Club 318. Yeah, he keeps changing when he's going to be on the Breakfast Club. He may very well be on the Breakfast Club coming up, but the thing is, I don't believe that they have their show on YouTube anymore where they have guests, because there was this whole big thing about that. Maybe they make an exception for Umar. I don't know, because they've gone to Netflix. So there's been some there's been some a lot of people covering that, and they've been talking about how that's impacted the Breakfast Club on YouTube. So we'll see. Okay, we'll see. But let me just go look real quick, and then we'll be up out of here. Yeah, I'm not seeing that post. It may be that he has it in one of I guess with inside of one of these posts. I just don't see it. But we'll wait and see. I don't know whether or not that's going to actually be. Anyone in the chat room know? Would that actually be on the Breakfast Club? Because they're not showing interviews. Let me go see. Maybe they are. Let me go see. This is a whole big thing since they've gone on Netflix, and the numbers have gone down and the engagement has gone down. Yeah, they have full shows, but I don't think, let me see. Yeah, it's just audio. So maybe they'll have him on with just audio. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how things play out over the next couple of days. And then, of course, I'll report on it. All right. Thank you, Estevares. Okay, thank you guys again for tuning on in. I hope you enjoyed the show. We did reach the goal for likes, and we had a wonderful turnout. And I want to thank everyone for tuning on. Thanks to the mods, too, for handling business. We will be back on Wednesday, okay? Thanks again. Also, everyone who sent in super chats, as always, Lord give, Lord take it. So stay humble, and I have the spirit of appreciation. That's my motto these days. So I want to thank you for all of your support and everyone who's been supportive of the YouTube page over these many years, and supportive of me as well, and supportive of my family. I appreciate each and every one of you. Okay, thank you for all the support. Okay, shout out to Cook Chris said you guys are the best, and as we always do. All right, any of y'all, if you haven't hit that like button, go on and hit it right now. It won't hurt. We still got an outside chance to get to 700 with over 1,000 people still in the building. All right, thank y'all.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming.
Yeah, thanks, ESB.
It's coming. It's coming.
Oh yeah, I watched some of that. Yeah.
It's coming.
With
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Oh, it's coming.
Thanks, DJ. He's so welcome back.
Coming, FDMG is coming, thought his personality be twerking, it's twerking.
Yeah, it's coming in 2058. Yeah. All right. Y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll be back tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow. We'll be back on Wednesday with another live stream. And I appreciate y'all. And as all, I salute. Thank you, Black Wolf. Salute to Information Man. He's in the building too. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you guys again for tuning on in. Love y'all sincerely. Okay. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.